this. Yeah, I got nothing. All right, are you guys ready to rock and roll? All right, and we are going. Wait, hold on, let me turn on everybody's mics. Make sure that it's good. Okay. Oh man.
Oh, are we watching our language in this thing, or
No, I don't do that.
Just so I know. That's fine. Just so I know.
I'm not very good at that. Yeah, you can say whatever.
Yeah,
So
I was gonna say, because I'm terrible. I'm terrible.
yeah,
I've trained myself. I have media training from TOPT.
There you go.
But I don't have to. I will definitely.
Yeah, let rip now.
That's all right. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us on this amazing Saturday afternoon. I guess it feels like morning. Thank you so much to everyone who is tuning in on the live. Please make sure to like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff, and also in the TikTok live as well. And then on top of that, make sure that you are going in the link down below to the TOPT Discord and also their channel and subscribing if you're not already on that. Today, I am joined by the lovely Sebastian, or Sebi, as other people call.
Hey.
And the theory wizard himself, the broker. And I couldn't be more excited for this. I've done lots of streams with Larry and stuff like that. I've never had Seb on, so I've always wanted to do that as well. Especially because there are so many things that I want to say to him during the pod, like, "Hey man, it's okay. You can stand on that Blackbeard winning all those fights that you say he's gonna win."
That's what I always want to say.
But I'm super excited to have them. We are going to be reading One Piece chapter 1138. But before that, I did want to talk to them about a theory before we read the chapter, because if it all of a sudden becomes wrong in the chapter, then it's not going to be a very good theory. But it'll be fun to watch if it holds up.
Three chapter theories. Okay.
I mean, who knows? With every chapter, it's like a make or break for theories. So,
That's true.
my theory is that Loki actually is the good person in this whole scenario, but it's actually King Harold who is the traitor. And the reason I think this is, we had Mother Caramel in Elbaf for years. And I think Mother Caramel was his avenue for making a deal with the world government. And the thing was, even at the end of last chapter, we had basically the leader of the Gods Knights, like the second in command or whatever, say that the world was conquered by the giants and that the world government wants their power. How would they get it, though? And the way is through King Harold. King Harold made a deal to become a celestial dragon with the world government. And that is why he ripped off his horns, to look closer to human than he would if he kept them. Like, a lot of the celestial dragons discriminate. And so if he rips off his horns, he looks slightly more human and he might be more accepted. And it might have been something that the Gorosei said to do. Like, hey, if you want to prove to us that you're serious about this deal, rip off your horns and look more human to become a celestial dragon. And then afterwards, King Harold put in a ton of policies into Elbaf to weaken Elbaf's giants. He opened the world to trade to become closer to that involvement in the rest of the world and the world government. Then he made fighting and being like a savage, like the Elbaf giants are known to be, he basically outlawed that by making everyone not fight, making them essentially weaker, so that eventually the world government could come in and subjugate them. And I think the way that that would have worked is in the form of a hunt. And we know that 38 and a half-ish years ago, we had a hunt on God Valley. So if you time it out and to where the series started, nowhere during the series have we ever seen a hunt, because it would have happened right before the series began at the 36th year. And then 2.5 years later is basically where we are at right now, which means we are on the precipice of another hunt in the 39th year. So what if the Gods Knights came to take Loki, make him a Gods Knight, because they know that he's literally the only one strong enough to stop them. So they proposed it to him because they originally had a deal with his father to become a celestial dragon, and proposed it to him, and he's the only one who could basically put a wrench in the works. The rest of them are all just either regular giants that aren't super strong from what we know, besides for Gory and Broggy are relatively strong. But the rest of them, any generations that came after, are weak. And the other people who have just been sitting around Elbaf have gotten weak too, because they no longer are pirates anymore. They don't ravage the seas. They don't go out and do any of that. So what I think happened was Loki found out about his father, and he originally thought that Hajrudin would be the one to actually kill him. So he made the prophecy because Hajrudin has like a strong sense of justice. So he thought it would be him. But then Loki was born, and he overheard his father making a deal with the world government. Probably, if I was to guess, it was probably Saint Fagarling who was the one who was in the castle making the deal with him, and that's why he could send the other Gods Knights to that castle. And then on top of that, when everything went down, Loki found out that his dad was going to sell him out and then ended up fighting his dad and killing him. And the rest of the giants, when they came in, they saw the dead body and they saw Loki and put two and two together. And that's why those 100 giants that were slain in there all chased after Loki, because they thought that he was the bad one. And then it's similar to Broker's theory. If he does have the Zoan ability to mimic other fruits, the reason why that sword went through his head and didn't hurt him was similar to Luffy's power. He was able to put it through like as if it was Toon Force, and when he pulled it out, he stopped and the power was no longer going. Similar to how when he punched through Kaido's head, you saw it go through the other side, but if he was holding a weapon and using that ability, then it would go right in through his head and not hurt him. And then he just pulled it out and it stopped working. So there are a million things that I feel like point to King Harold actually being the bad guy in all of this. And I think that when it comes down to it, Loki also, even when he set out to sea, before that, he was ravaging around the underworld. And we heard from, I believe it was Broggy, that a lot of humans, they just come to the underworld and they were like, whoa, this place is scary, and they dip out. But then if Loki was there rampaging, or if he was there, he could be that person that scared them away, basically being the protector of Elbaf, in all honesty. And that could also be why he was tied up there. And all those agents from the world government went missing, like Gunko said. They could have been sending agents there to probe the area to see if actually Elbaf has gotten weaker, but they kept going missing because Loki would be the one who ends up killing them, or the beast that he had there would end up killing them, essentially protecting Elbaf without protecting Elbaf. So, what are your thoughts?
I'll let Broker take the floor first.
Okay, you want me to go? So,
Yeah.
again, hello to everyone in the chat, etc., etc. For those who don't know my theory on this from was it last month now, I think it is, isn't it, Seb?
Yeah,
Well,
it was roughly a month ago.
Yeah, about a month ago. Basically, I've been saying that the actual villain of the piece is Hajrudin and not Loki. And the idea that exactly like Nerdtaku's just said, where it's a case based on almost like mistaken identity. I think it's the same thing, but Loki thought that. So I think when Loki was young, or younger now, he overheard a conversation by Dendemushi of what he thought was King Harold talking with the world government, and just behind closed doors, that sort of thing. So he assumed his father had betrayed all of the giants, betrayed Elbaf, and that he just didn't want to believe it, didn't want it to be true, so that in his mind, the only thing he could do is to ensure the fruit wasn't given to the world government, because as we know, the world government have been looking for the Nika fruit for centuries now. So they, again, same as the giants, they assumed that this sun god fruit was the right one. Were willing to make the trade in exchange for, like Nerdtaku says, where they want to become part of like the world government, they would become part of the reverie of the allied kingdoms. So the agreement is, look, give us this fruit, we'll kill your father, we'll kill King Harold, and you can become king. Because as it is with giants, as we find out from what's the name of the one with the sword through his head? What's his name?
Jaru.
He's hundreds and hundreds of years old. So I don't think that Hajrudin wanted to wait. He didn't want to wait for his father to die one day so that he could become king. He wanted to do it. Exactly like Nerdtaku says, he made an agreement with Mother Caramel, and the two of them together persuaded King Harold to do all these pacifist things. So, it's way better if you focus on trade. Don't worry about being warriors. Don't worry about any of that. And just basically, through demilitarization, they just made the giants so much weaker. So that bothered me. Again, I've never really rated the giants, because from what we've seen, even pre-time skip, giants aren't actually that impressive. Dory and Broggy get beaten by a pre-time skip Mr. 3. The two giants that guard Ennie's lobby, they were taken down by Paulie with rope. And then we had the John Captain John Jack on Marineford. He gets taken down in one blow. It's just giants just aren't that impressive anymore. Exactly like Nerdtaku says. Now that the Dory and Broggy have actually been able to train for a bit, now they've got much stronger. Fine, but when people say, "Oh, it took every giant on Elbaf to subdue Loki," that's like saying that it took every person in a village to subdue Nami. It's just like, okay, fine, yeah, it took a whole town. So what? And I think the way it's going to go at the moment is basically Loki ate the fruit to stop the world government getting it. I think to expand on Notaku's thing, what I think it is it's like the chimera devil fruit, so it can become any zone fruit in existence. It can become. However, it can't become hybrid forms of those fruits. It can just become the animals. So one of those beasts it can become is Nika, and that's exactly like he says. That's how and I've forgotten his name. The one with the sword through his head. That's why it's there. And it's ironic that this one person, the only witness supposedly to Loki killing King Harold, has a sword through his head. It's like you would not take this person seriously if they were testifying against you in court. You just wouldn't. It's like if anyone's got brain damage, he's got brain damage. And I think the whole thing's been done that way. And Loki still believes that his father betrayed Elbaf. He doesn't know it was actually his brother, so that he's willing to take the blame on behalf of his father because he doesn't want his name to be sullied. He doesn't want to think that he doesn't want the rest of the giants in Elbaf thinking that badly about him. And as I was just saying before we started, I think that Road specifically was given an order by Hajrudin to attack the Straw Hats on their way to Elbaf. And that's why we've had this flashback in the last chapter in 1137 where we see Road and Hajrudin as young children, and it almost exactly mirrors the exact same backstory we got with Hachi and Arlong back on Fishman Island, where it's somebody that's good and means to do good things, but they're so devoted to this person they're willing to do that. And I just think that over the next few chapters we're going to find out a lot more about Hajrudin, and it's going to be, or not all, it's going to be good, shall we say?
Okay. I mean, there's a lot here. I do like the idea that I'll say this, that King Harold might have been the one that was influenced, because it's something that came up on the TOPT stream. I think Lawrence brought it up a couple weeks back. Like you said, Nerdtaku, that Mother Caramel seems to have been in that role of infiltrating Elbaf and changing the culture as like a CIA operative, kind of, in a way where, you try to change the thought processes of the people who make decisions with the country by changing their culture, changing laws, changing rules, infiltrating and becoming ingrained in that society, and then making meaningful change that helps you outside of that society. So like you said, with the trade, making Elbaf weaker. I do like the idea that King Harold, I believe it's King Harold, got the same deal that Loki got, because I do like the idea that a father and a son have to go through the same trials and tribulations, and they might make different decisions. And if King Harold was influenced by Mother Caramel and ended up being willing to take the deal, I'm wondering, because all 100 bodies or corpses are there, was it a Loki plus his 100 versus Harold and the Gods Knights? Or was it a Loki versus those 100 to get to Harold? Like how did it all go down? Who killed King Harold? And it's funny that we just had the Who Done It arc in Egghead. It looks like we're getting it a bit again here on Elbaf. Or kind of
We've had it in quite a few arcs. We've had it in quite a few arcs. We Dressrosa, we had it in Fishman Island. We've had a lot of this.
So it's interesting to me that there's so many different ways to go about how people have interpreted so what we're getting so far about King Harold. Because personally, I like the idea that Hajrudin, sorry again, Broker, that he's pure heart. I like that. I liked it. It warmed my heart when I read it. It would hurt me a little bit now, even.
Okay, so what do you think about Harold's prophecy? What do you think about Harold's prophecy then? Just hi, Mike. By the way, Mike Super 17, good friend of mine. He's like he doesn't fully believe it, but what is again? Nerdtaku, same question to you as well. What do you think was meant by Harold's prophecy? Because that prophecy took place several years before Loki was even conceived.
Well, a prophecy can just mean that it's something that's going to happen in the future. It could still be Loki, right? You can have It says I'm
But
being killed by my son,
yeah.
right?
But it could only have meant Loki later when Loki was born. Before that, it could have only have meant Hajrudin.
And then but it didn't happen until Loki was born. You get what I'm
No,
saying?
but the prophecy was made beforehand. Is the point? It's like if you make a prophecy of something, just because something else happens much later on, you're almost going into I've forgotten the name of the famous philosopher that everyone always quotes. Never mind. Anyway, but I was like, it's one of those things where it's when the prophecy is made, it could only have meant Hajrudin. If Loki had never been conceived, the prophecy would have been the same. Hajrudin would still be evil. You adding a new brother. So go on.
But Broker, do you believe Oda will play by those rules within his manga, or he'll?
Okay, so I wouldn't have. So again, so I told you, I just for the pod, right? I never usually do spoilers of any kind. However, a month ago when I did that theory on the pod, Thursday morning when I woke up, I had dozens of people messaging me saying, "You've got to read a chapter," or a few people that just told me what the chapter, the secret was. And this was obviously the prophecy. And it was, back then we were talking about fan translations and stuff with TBC and stuff. This was one that was quite important because in the fan translation, it was one of your sons. I will be killed by one of my sons, plural. But the actual official viz is my son, singular. So if it would have been my sons, then 100% you'd probably be right. But it said my son. Oda specifically chose to use singular, not plural. Why do that if it's the same way you think. If he's going to go in the direction where it was always going to be one of the two, why wouldn't the prophecy have been a plural?
Imagine that it was actually just Kaido and he just killed him. Just because they look alike.
I want to talk about Kaido. Again, nobody here thinks that King Harold is not related to Kaido. I'm sorry, nobody.
Yeah.
Nobody. They are twins.
We're gonna need some paternity.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like, the question then: Do you think Oda will probably, based on this and how similar they look, do you think that Oda possibly will do a retcon so that Oni originally, like they change the word Oni to mean ancient giant?
Maybe.
Will they meld the two things to be one species?
Yeah,
that makes sense to me. That makes sense to me.
But like when it comes to the Hajrudin thing, like I truly don't think that he has any sort of negative intentions. What I truly think is King Harold probably thought that would be the son that did kill him. And the reason being is, one, we don't really know what happened to Hajrudin's mother. We had no idea because in the flashback, when we see him, he's literally hanging out at the village that Big Mom destroyed. He's hanging out with Mother Carmel and the kids. We saw Gerd and all them. Like, they were there because he's like a bastard. And so, I think that the reason he probably thought Hajrudin would be the one to kill him was because he was more involved. He was more like a pirate, and he was kind of had this will about him where he was, he wanted to do good things and he wanted to unite the giants and things like that. And that would mean that he would have to become king to be able to do such a thing. And King Harold stood in his way. Because King Harold was, even though he could have easily, because when you're king, you can make the rules. He could have easily been like, no, this is my queen. It's Hajrudin's mother, and she's going to be queen of the giants, and we were going to unite the race of giants. Like, he could have easily done that. He was well within his power, but he didn't. For some reason, he didn't, and probably has to do.
He doesn't trust him.
It's probably not even just that so much as it is like he also made this deal where he was going to give them up. So it was like it didn't really matter anyway. And maybe he wanted to have what he viewed. I mean, even Roto said it best, it doesn't really matter. You guys kill each other over land. Like we can be bigoted too. So like it was kind of like those. Yeah, exactly. That was what was said, though. Basically, the gist.
Make your own jokes.
But it was kind of to the point where it was like, oh, well, he still believed in those traditional giant values, I guess. And so he wanted things to be normal. He wanted the queen to be from the giant tribe where he's from, and so on and so forth. So that's why Loki technically is the only pure blood, not a muggle. And so they basically were like, no, like he's our guy, not Hajrudin. He's gonna hang out with the kids who don't have parents, basically at Mother Caramel's house, like, which was kind of a weird thing to do from jump, but he probably thought that he would grow up to eventually kill him anyway and take the throne so he could do what his dad never had the balls to do and unite the giant tribe.
Yeah, see, this is I think all of that, but I think that it's Hajrudin that made that deal that way. It's like, look, I am never going to be given what is rightfully mine. I am the firstborn son. I deserve to be king of Elbaf. If I give you this Nika fruit, well, the sun god fruit, as they claim, will you make me king of Elbaf? And the gods' knights, this going to say they would make that deal in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat, they'd make that deal, even if they didn't actually intend to keep their word. It's like, this is why, again, I think that it seems to be way too coincidental that the Gods Knights turn up on Elbaf just as Luffy and Vegapunk get there. I think it's too coincidental, and I think that information was given to them by Hajrudin. And like you say before, that whether it be Figgle and Garling or Figgle and Shamrock now, whichever one of them arrived and killed Harold those 6 years ago, one of them has already been there before. So I think they sent a message. I look again, because all about just a Dengen Mushi, we know it can be used over these great distances. It's like, look, Straw Hat Luffy and Vegapunk are both here. They've arrived, and I think basically the reason they've gone after Loki first is because they know that if Luffy were to make an alliance with Loki and they find out the truth about what really happened to King Harold, that's the worst alliance that could possibly happen at the moment against the Gorosei. The Straw Hat Grand Fleet and all the giants of Elbaf allied together, that's their nightmare scenario. So it's like, look, either join us or die. And that's the scenario they're in.
It's very possible. Yeah. It also lined up pretty good timing wise for the hunts that they would normally have, and I think that it would make sense if they were hunting, because they never hunt on truly government affiliated islands. But this is kind of like on the precipice, and when they want to hunt things, they always want to hunt something. I mean, they're messed up, fucked up in the head, celestial dragons. They'd be like, oh man, I'd love to go hunt some giants and stuff like that. Like they're like rare. It's like rare game. So like they're basically like, shit, let's do it. Let's go to Elbaf. We can kill them, and then the ones that we don't kill, we can integrate into the world government as slaves, this, that, or the other thing. But yeah, so we will see how that theory turns out.
Just because I'm reminding myself, how many giants were there on at Marineford that were allied with the world government?
5?
It was 2, wasn't it? Was really that many?
It was like a squad. Yeah, it was like a 5.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. It's a 5-man group. Yeah, I know 2 of them got knocked out, one by Whitebeard and one by Luffy. My question was, why do we think that those giants formed an alliance with the world government? Because even the ones at Enies Lobby were only there because they were being blackmailed. Because remember, they lied about threatening to kill Dory and Broggy, and that's why they were there. I just wonder why those 5 giants in particular joined the world government.
So one of them was John Giant, and that was the original one that Mother Caramel like kind of facilitated joining the Marines. When
really?
And that was during one in her flashback, where like they were executing, I think it was 6. I think there were 6 in Marineford, and there was 6.
Yeah. Well, technically there's 7, because of the 6 that are pictured, John Giant isn't one of them, I don't think.
Okay.
So but 7 or 8 here, because I think this is 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. So she like facilitated to stop the execution of them. And I think in doing so, and the world government basically being like, that's fine, you can do that, I think that more of them decided to join their side, and that's why they were at Marineford.
Yo, it's actually 8.
It's 8?
It's 8. 8 in the Giant Squad and John Giant to make it 9.
That's
And
crazy.
I just
I want to
assumed,
oh, sorry, go on.
yeah,
Sorry,
I
go
just
ahead.
assumed that they're not from Elbaf. They're just from these other races of giants across the world, other countries where
Oh, of
giants are
course.
from.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
That's
a
what
really
I
good point.
assumed once that
Yeah.
chapter came out. Yeah.
I thought maybe they were like some of the remnants of the giant pirates, and that they were some of the ones that were left after they presumed their captains were both dead or captured, and that's why they joined, like in exchange for amnesty.
Possible. No Larry Tax here. Y'all too funny.
Oh my god, they're killing me with that. Someone in the beginning of the chat.
It's so good.
So someone in the beginning of the chat was like, "Hey, I heard that if you come over to this stream, you get less Larry tax." And I was just like, "Yeah." I was like, "The only way is if you like and subscribe. Like, it'll immediately like drop your tax bracket."
As a Larry
I was
Tax,
about to send you a super chat, but I can't.
yeah, as a Larry Tax auditor, if you like, subscribe to Nerdtaku's channel, you do get a break.
Do you understand? I am quite literally the tax broker here.
How's it going?
Yeah,
Shout out to Larry, man.
Yeah. Shout out to him. He works hard. I'll tell you what.
He does.
He's
on
always
vacation
doing
right
something.
now.
What?
He's on vacation. Yeah, man. He's not gonna be on there next week, bro. He gone for a week.
Spoilers, Seb. Oh, you've ruined it now. I'm not going to tune in.
Is it?
What's the point then? There's no point in watching.
You're more likely to get the calls without Larry like yapping.
Oh wow. Yapping is crazy.
I'm gonna send 7 different super chats all about something versus Blackbeard.
I'll tell you what, if you send a Blackbeard chat, it's more likely to get glaze if Seb's there and Larry's not.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah.
But all right. The people have waited long enough. Let's get into this chapter.
Yeah.
Hopefully it doesn't ruin everything straight out the gate after we just spent the last 30 minutes talking about it. So if you guys are paying attention, it's smaller, obviously, so I don't get copyrighted, but right above my head should be the chapter so you guys can follow along on the stream. And I will read the cover page because no one else is a fan of them, because I think the only person that likes Yamato. And then we will go into it, and I'll have Seb read the first 3 pages. Everyone on TOPT.
What? No, it's just me. It's just me.
Yeah, Yamato's the 10th Straw Hat. She just is.
She's so trash, bro. Oh
Listen,
God.
She's so trash because Oda made her trash and they didn't have the right moment. I'm telling you, this is all that would need to happen to make Yamato a likable Straw Hat that actually should have been part of the crew. And it would have been as simple as her saying to Luffy, like, hey, I'm ready to join your crew. It's just like the future king of the pirates and the last king of the pirates. You're going to have an Odin on your crew. And him be like, nah, I don't want you if you're Odin. I want Yamato to join my crew. I don't want Odin. And for her to actually realize that she just needs to be herself, and not actually take after someone, and then be like, no, you know what? I'm going to be on your crew. It's Yamato, the only child, and I'm going to be the stenographer of our journey from here on out. And I'm gonna take all of that stuff.
I need you to really think about what I'm about to tell you right now. Think of the emotional depth behind every other Straw Hat joining the crew. And you tell me whether what you just said was anywhere near good enough.
But she's not joined yet.
I will, because, dude.
Stop it. Stop it.
Yes.
I agree with Taku. I agree with Taku.
Whatever.
Listen.
Y'all can enjoy her, bro. Y'all can enjoy her all y'all want, man.
Listen, it would have been so cool, because that's like Luffy's whole thing, is to not want someone if they're pretending to be someone else. He wants who he wants on the crew for who they are, not who they are pretending to be. It has depth to it. I understand.
Yeah, that really does.
I didn't say it didn't have depth. I'm asking you to compare it to Luffy, help me. I'm asking you to compare it to owners.
Oh, that's not fair.
That's what I'm
Okay.
doing.
That's not fair.
Are
That's
you?
not
Yeah.
fair.
Okay. You want
It's
to
a
talk
straw
about
hat. I am
emo-
gatekeeping. I am
emotions?
gatekeeping the straw
Okay,
hats.
what about Brooke? What about Brooke then? What about Brooke?
Hey, man.
Brooks
Yeah.
wasn't that emotional.
What about Usopp? Hey, get on the ship that you got us.
Yeah.
That was super
but
deep.
Usopp, yeah, exactly. Yeah, what about Usopp, Seb?
Hey, can someone strangle Frankie's nuts so he can join our crew? Like,
Yeah.
stop that.
Zoro just joins because he has
We
given
got
some
the
swords.
emotional depth of those characters slightly
There
earlier.
isn't any. There wasn't any. What was the emotional depth to Zoro?
Zoro's an exception.
Oh, okay.
Shut up. Here we go.
Listen, all right.
Exception.
I just need you to pop it out for a sec and be
Okay,
like, you
okay.
know what? It's okay.
So to everyone witnessed here, okay, I will give $1,000 to the charity of your choice, Seb, if it turns out that Yamato does join the crew. So what I mean by that is, if somebody else joins between now and then, I will give the $1,000. But they have to be an official straw hat, not someone like VD who's like an unofficial one.
Wow.
What do I have to do? I don't have to do anything.
$1,000. And then there's witnesses here. There's 63 witnesses.
And I don't have to do anything?
No. You have to. If I'm right, you have to spend. You do the pod as normal, but every time there's a super chat, at the end of it, you have to just say Broker was right.
Yeah, wait too extra. I'm gonna need a hashtag or something connected to that. It's gotta be some stipulation.
Just do it just do them as normal, like do the super chats, but every time you finish a sentence, Broker was right.
Oh my god.
I you know what I think? I think that if for some reason Yamato doesn't join or whatever, I think that Broker should have to pay for the charity. But if someone joins in the meantime, but if not, if Yamato does join, I think that Seb should do another 5 minutes where he glazes Yamato like he did Sabo, but do better this time.
Yeah,
you more research.
I'm gonna do worse. I hate Yamato more.
Seb, I'll write it for you. I'll write the glaze and you just have to read it out.
If you write the glaze, I'll do it. That's
Done.
Okay.
There you go. It's agreed. It is
there
a
we go.
agreement.
Digital handshake here. All right.
That's it.
All right. Now we will get into it.
Loki better not join now. I'll be furious.
Oh man, that might be tough because you got two options in OBAF so far, so we'll see. All right, let's get into it. We are going One Piece chapter 1138, Harley, and then we see Who's Who dining it up with all of the beast pirates that are left behind and some geishas that he just found. What a baller. But he does have the sword that was stolen. So it seems like all these things are connected. Honestly, I think Who's a pretty cool character.
Yeah, well, me too. I always liked Who's Who.
Who's Who is the best Toby? Who's Who best Toby Ropo by far?
Yeah. He got some lore dumped to him.
Yeah.
He's got a background. He got a history. He's connected to Shanks back in the day. His
Yeah.
design is cool.
And
I wish his fighting style was more fleshed out.
Same here. He was just a watered down version of Rob Lucci, sadly. Taki, what version of that? Sorry, which missing sword was that?
It was the one that was stolen from the shrine that Yamato passed during her pilgrimage. I forget what sword. I forget what the name of it is, but I believe it was like
It's not Shisui, is it?
No, it's not Shisui.
No.
But it was. I think it was one of the who were the people that were trapped in the cave with Yamato when they passed? I think it was one of their swords.
Oh, that's cool. Okay. That's pretty cool.
That's really
shout
cool.
out to Who's Who. He still got the hoes with him, man. Because not just the geishas are here. He still got the cat girls. They still loyal, even though he took that L, man.
I'll tell you what. He's probably like being mad racist. He's like, yeah, I lost to a fish. This is so bullshit. Like he's got like all sorts of crazy racism going on right now.
He is literally a cat that lost to a fish.
Oh man, that's pretty tough. Now you think about it. That's
Yeah.
tough to go back to the hood after that, man.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
you're not going back anywhere with that. You just start your own gang. You're not going to join anything else up.
Yeah, he
Oh,
literally he
man.
was like he's that dude who posted the pic or posted the status like, yo, I'm about to go fight somebody, I'll post a video, and then it's just like,
Never
yeah,
mind, I lost. I ain't
yeah,
posting that shit.
he posted that shit.
He just ghosts everybody for the next 6 months.
Oh man.
Yeah, he's been hiding, he's been laying low. That's crazy.
That's so funny. He
Um,
say dropping the shark with the hard R. What's wrong with y'all, bro? I can't.
yo, that's crazy.
These goddamn fishers.
Yeah, he was like, that's so crazy. Dropping with the hard R is nuts. He was probably like, when Jinbei went like full body hockey, he was like, that's right. That's because it's so wild. But anyway, the title is Oni Child Yamato and the Holy Nari Shrine Pilgrimage Volume 24. The base belongs to Who's Who. Dude, what amazing detective skills. Like the whole shrine looks like him in his cat form. It's like, who could it be?
Listen, y'all enjoy her, bro. Y'all enjoy her. So
listen, I said I enjoy her. I didn't say that it can't, like, the cover story can't be stupid every now and again. Like for some reason, Tama mid-diff told him, like, you know, like low diff actually. But
it was the highlight of this entire cover story, bro.
That's how you know it was about that action.
That's what happens when you make Yamato the focal point of your cover story.
Whoa! I wouldn't go crazy.
That's what happens. Well, we can move on.
The same thing happened. No, but literally the same thing happened with Jinbei, didn't it? After Jinbei said he's going to join, but not yet. I tell you, it's exactly the same thing. We'll have to wait.
Jinbei's cover story was mid for a while too.
Yeah,
but I'm still saying that was the thing. It was like, look, what the cover story is going to be is the next Straw Hat. It's just what they're doing until they join. It was 318 chapters between Jinbei saying I will join and actually joining.
People being rude in the chat. They're like, take 40 minutes just to get to the cover story. Crazy.
You guys are talking. It's my,
you guys are fiending. But all right. So we'll skip Oda's notes. He just be talking about food most of the time. So all right, Seb, you want to take the first 3 pages?
All right, let's do this. All right, the aftermath of Loki's defiance. We see Loki huffing and puffing after getting rocked by Gunko's attacks. And then we see you're the spitting image of red-haired Shanks from Loki. Did you really think I just write that off as a coincidence? And then we see Shamrock not saying anything. And then Gunko goes, mind your own business. That matter has nothing to do with you. No, you're not wrong, but a great pirate and a celestial dragon, they're polar opposites. You can't blame me for being curious. Anyone would find it strange that you two share the same face. The pirate you're referring to is my younger twin. He went astray. At one point, he did return to the Holy Land, but it seems he grew too attached to the pirate world of the surface. He returned, huff, huff. I see. It's funny how I ended up hating both of you brothers. And I thought my grudge couldn't get any worse. What a family. You bastards. When I get out of these chains, ... You want me to continue or just end it there?
You got one more page. Keep going.
Oh, that's another page. Okay. You'll know what I'll do, right? I'll make it my mission to make sure my buddies are avenged. Was that supposed to be a threat? Captain, you don't have to. I know. He isn't worth getting my hands dirty over. Isn't that right, Cerberus? And then Shamrock stabs Cerberus. I forgot the name of the dog or the Cerberus. Loki looks troubled, and then the Cerberus is growling.
Whoa. That's so... It was funny, you guys...
Oh, like, no, he didn't stab a Cerberus. I read this wrong.
Yeah, his sword is Cerberus.
Yeah, his
Oh.
So that means his sword has a devil fruit.
Maybe.
That's
Who
Oh,
knows what the hell that
please,
was just now?
please tell me it has 3 blades. Then my thing from before was right. I was going to say,
Right. I was about to say
it's close enough. That's close enough, I
that's why
think.
you save it for the stream, broker.
That's close enough. That is close enough. So I said,
So
just before we did. Sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead. Go ahead, broker.
I was just going to say, so just before we were talking, before the stream started, we were talking about that. I said a couple of weeks ago, I said that Zoro will be the opponent that fights this like other version of Shanks. I think it's before we even got the name, and it's like that's how that fight will go. And that I thought that maybe when we see that they have 2 arms, that they would actually be a 3 sword style user or something similar. And then I thought maybe then when we got the arrow fruit revealed from Genko, I thought maybe she could use her arrows to make swords for Shamrock. But if the way I'm looking at it now with this, like again, so I really do. I want to turn the page. I'm being good. I'm not turning the page yet. But if that makes it so that each head of the sword has its own blade, then yeah, it's Zoro versus Shamrock, guaranteed. 3 sword style versus 3 sword style.
so
I
I had a different thought. If Zoro's the king of hell, who guards hell? Cerberus.
Oh,
Cerberus. Yeah, I was gonna say.
See?
I was about to say that.
Like,
Yeah,
See? It's perfect. It has. Yeah, no question. Then no question.
so where my mind went here, I know y'all went into the Cerberus thing, which is pretty dope. It looks cool. All right, so he's referred to Shanks going back to the Holy Land at one point. How do y'all feel about that one? Because I know there's a lot of discussion
Yeah,
about who the masked man
was.
who that was, who entered the throne room and talked
Yeah,
to the guards.
this is being done by Oda on purpose, just so he can leave it dangling as long as humanly possible.
yeah,
I
he
still
really
think
wants
that person was
us.
Shamrock, but I don't know why.
I
Why
think
did Shanks
so
go back
too.
though? Mm-hmm.
And I think that I don't know. The fact that they said that he came back is very interesting. Like,
Yeah.
when was it? Because one thing that I'm thinking is it when Roger whispered something to Shanks at his execution or whatever, or before he went off to be executed, and told him that's where he's from, and then he went when he was younger?
Yeah, that's a good shout.
It could be why he was so upset, because he realized like he knew about celestial dragons and how shitty they were, and like
so
basically
Seb knows what I'm going to say now. Seb actually has an exclusive theory of mine from over a year and a half ago that he said he was going to make a video on, but he's never got round to. But literally all of this makes so much more sense now.
My bad, broker. My bad. I worked on that script for a while, and then something happened. I don't remember what happened, but I'll see what's up. But I just it's interesting to me because for a long time it was Shanks is a rat, Shanks is a rat, Shanks is a rat.
Yep.
I even subscribed, and now he still could be. Get back on that stuff, man. Don't be talking to them folks, bro. I need a paperwork party for Shanks ASAP. I thought he was cleared. I thought the paperwork was good after last chapter. The paperwork is back suspect, and I don't like it.
I've just noticed as well, this is the very first chapter where we actually see that Shamrock has another arm. Right at the bottom there. That's the first.
Last chapter we saw it.
Was it? I thought we saw that. Oh, okay. My bad.
When he is introduced, he has his left hand on his sword and his right hand out.
Oh, okay.
So, but what I think is interesting is, one, he's a younger twin, and which kind of is crazy because I think that Shamrock looks younger. But then again, you don't know. I mean, if you're living a life as a pirate, that could age you when you're just chilling up in Marijois, just big chilling.
Yeah. Shanks out here eating scraps and drinking all the time, and Shamrock's eating fine 5-star cuisine every day.
Yeah. I will say I do love the fact that like we have all like drawn the conclusion of like, why isn't Loki saying anything? Because Loki would have said something if he saw him and knew that he looked like Shanks, because he already fought Shanks. And so
Yeah,
like
how does
it was
can you see it or not?
yeah. And now the fact that he brought it up is like, okay, so he was paying attention.
I also enjoyed that Loki one could easily differentiate between the two. And I know one of them has 2 arms or whatever, but like he's cloaked or whatever. He also referred to Shanks as a great pirate, which is a
Yeah.
stark difference from how he was referring to him when he talked to Luffy.
Yeah.
So
It's
it's good to
weird.
know that he does have some level of reverence for Shanks, even though he talked a lot of shit earlier about the
Oh,
guy.
Although that could be something that is changed when the Viz comes out.
That's true.
yeah.
Mhm.
Another thing
Strong.
I totally forgot to say this when we were talking about the theory in the beginning. Um, so someone pointed out, I forget who it was, when I was watching someone else's live reaction to last chapter, they were saying that Gunko may be, I don't know if it was on your guys' podcast or not,
Oh my
that
god.
that Gunko might be in like an amputee.
Okay.
Like her
Oh, really?
legs, yeah, her legs are bandaged at the knees, and her devil fruit looks like it makes up her boots.
Oh,
And
similar to Aokiji.
yes, similar to Aokiji. And so it's very interesting because that also went along with my King Harold ripping out his horns to be more like a regular person. So that way he's accepted by the Gods Knights or the world government. And it would be interesting to find out that Gunko was the long leg tribe. And so she cut off her legs to become a God Knight and uses her devil fruit to actually have legs and look more regular.
That could be
So
interesting. I posed a question in the chat in regards to this Cerberus thing because I know for a long time the Cerberus being the guardian deity of hell and having 3 heads, he's been connected. It's been connected to Blackbeard for a while. Do you think there's any chance Blackbeard gets a hold of this ability himself?
I mean, I think there's a possibility, but I was going to bring that up too. Was like this is official, debunking. I feel like of everyone
Right.
saying that he has the Cerberus fruit already,
Right.
and that's the reason
Mhm.
why he can have 2 fruits or 3 fruits. So.
Mhm.
Next, they're gonna wind up showing it's like Loki has the Kraken fruit, and Oda's just like, "I'm gonna screw with,
Every
I'm
theory.
gonna fuck with all you." Like, you know, he's like, I've been watching YouTube videos. You guys are slick. Like,
Imagine.
that would be crazy. That would be so insane. I would
Why
love
would he
every
watch
minute of it.
American YouTube? There's no chance.
I don't know.
There's no
I don't think
chance.
there's
There's
no
no chance.
chance.
There's got to be some Japanese YouTubers out there that might have his attention, but there's no way he's checking on us.
His
Listen,
editors definitely his editors definitely do because they've mentioned stuff before in the past, but obviously I don't think Oda does at all.
I don't got
I
time
don't
for
know.
that.
He probably saw that someone made like a Shanks twin theory as soon as they saw him in Marijua, and he was like, "I'm stealing that. I'm biting that
Yeah.
for today." Yeah. So I mean, there was also a very interesting thought I had. I didn't get to see the hilt or anything like that in the last chapter, but there was something that would have been really cool, but like also really shitty at the same time. I thought there was a possibility that Shamrock took Ace.
Mm.
And
Oh,
he
wow.
had Roger's blade. Um, that would have been crazy to me. That would have been
That would
like,
have been really crazy.
yeah, I was like, damn, that would have been because I mean, I'd imagine I don't know where he would have put Ace to hide it from the world government, but if he was turned in when he had it, then they would have had their hands on Ace. And who would you give it to besides for probably one of the strongest, God's Knights? So it would have been
Yeah.
crazy if Sharon. I don't think it is
Well,
Ace.
Garling could have it now.
Well, no, we saw Garling's blade. It's the same blade that he had on God Valley. Like
Oh, okay.
because the way like the hilt comes down, it's got like a really awkward angle, and it's literally like the same exact blade. I wouldn't imagine he changed his sword since God Valley because of how weird the hilt looks.
Yeah.
Mm.
But yeah, that would have been
Shanks' sword is named Griffin, right? If I remember correctly.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
wonder if
Yeah.
there's
So
any like
so God, that's
lore
the thing.
connection between the two, between a Griffin and a
Well,
Cerberus.
so I was going to say, does Shanks' sword have the Griffin devil fruit?
I hope not.
Well, me too. But it would at least explain the way that Toei made the sword attack look. That
I was
used
gonna
on,
say if you ask the Toei animators, then yeah.
God damn, I hate Toei.
Oh man.
Yo, don't hate too hard there.
Maybe taking them liberties, man.
There are too many liberties. Red Lightning for Blackbeard. Oh, I hate them so much.
I mean, who knows? We'll see. But anyway, all right,
see.
Broker, you're up. Next three.
So back to Loki. So you're not wrong, but a great pirate and a celestial dragon.
We got that already.
Oh,
yeah.
Where am I?
We're at the Cerberus forming.
Sorry, I've gone too far. No, sorry, I've gone backwards. Oh, okay. Wow. So it looks identical to the one that Luffy sees on Thriller Bark, where it's all the three dogs the three dogs that are stitched together. Oh, okay. It doesn't look quite as menacing as I wanted it to, I suppose. But yeah, so we see it again. That's how it looks. It's called Cerberus. However, they don't mention that it's a devil fruit underneath it. That's odd. So like they've used and called it Cerberus, but they've not said underneath, dog fruit model Cerberus. That's strange. Yeah. So we just have Loki. What the hell is that? And then let's literally exactly like I said, a sword comes out of one of the mouths. It's my biting blade, as Shamrock calls it. So then we have both swords. What's with this creepy thing? And the collar seems to spin round for some, which just reminds me of who Frankie fought at
Sasaki.
Onigashima. Yeah, where he just spins his head round.
It looks like he's got multiple blades, Broker.
Yeah. Exactly. That is multiple blades. This is going to be a Zoro victim. This is 100% a Zoro victim.
Victim?
Yeah, I wouldn't call this a victim, homie.
Victim?
Oh yeah, no. What you think Zoro's going to lose to him then?
I think that it's closer to
exchange blades. I don't know if there's going to be a definitive winner.
I think if anyone's going to win, it's going to be Zoro.
Well, yeah, I mean, he hasn't really lost yet. That's like his whole pledge.
Oh man,
but
Otis selling the bag on a random Shanks twin beating Zoro would be the worst. Yeah. Oh my god.
I mean, here's what I think. I think that at best we're getting like a Nostoro type deal where they exchange, but there's no real winner that comes out of this.
Yeah.
Okay. So weird, I just noticed it on the next panel below. So you were saying about Genko being an amputee. I can't see an arm there, really. Like, look what she's done with the arrow ability, right? That's her right arm. Yeah. That's not a full arm. That looks like, it's missing a piece. So I think you're right.
I think it's very possible.
Something that I'm going to assume is a mistake at this point is if we go back there now, so just behind that, we see what is obviously meant to be Shamrock. But two things. He's holding the sword with the wrong hand now. He's holding it with his left, not with his right, which was what? Let me double check. Was he holding it with his right?
That's his back. That's his back.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Thank God for that. So what do you think? He's made reference to the his other arm. Like there seems to be. Do you see what I mean? Like what's the?
There's like the little little dash marks.
Yeah. The exaggeration. I just wonder why it's there.
I don't know.
It's very strange. Yeah, very strange. Just because you were saying about like amputee and stuff like that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But so yeah, we got the spinning collar, the multiple blades. Captain, let's clean up here and move on. Oh, so she refers to him as Captain then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I believe he's what, Captain of the Gods Knights, and then like Garling was the Supreme Commander or something like that of the Gods Knights.
I was curious to what sort of ranking structure they used, but it is captain. Captain's the honorific they use.
Yeah.
And then the attack is called Scramble, and then on the next page, I am not sure what that top panel is meant to be showing me at this point.
It looks like it's shooting
getting
its heads
launched
off.
by like the head. Yeah, it's like launching them forward.
Yeah, very strange. So then, oh yeah, so their heads are missing, which is just very their heads have literally launched off. So then he says heal, and they launch away on the a bird made of arrows. Feel free to hunt me down anytime. I'll face you then, assuming you survive this.
What is that? That's 3?
I think he has one more.
No, I think that's 3.
No, that's 3. I can't count.
Okay. All right. Let's keep it rolling. So one thing that I did want to point out is I am pretty sure that Cerberus is an awakened Zoan. It's got the cloak around him. Like it
I'm
literally.
trying to figure out how this works at all. He used the sword to summon the thing, and then left it. Like, you know what I mean? Like he took the sword with him.
Yeah,
right.
It's
so like
it's
these things are still here. So
yeah. So like. It looks like Cerberus is awakened, which is crazy. And it looks like in the one panel, I forget where it is. Right when he's leaving and he says heal, it kind of looks like he has like half a sword left. And then like he says heal, and then like the cloak starts like going back into the sword. Which is very interesting. And then in the next panel, you see like literally the swords start to reform from the cloak as they're leaving.
Yeah.
So like
so you're saying about it being awakened with the Horogoro scarf around it.
Yeah.
Then it really must go back to the idea of there must be some like an artificial way to awaken Zoans, because how does a sword get its body and mind in sync to become awakened?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it would be very interesting because like it would maybe have to like resonate with the user enough, like, you know, because like you have Enma, who very much like has like a personality basically, and all these other swords probably have similar like traits like Enma, where they almost have a personality. So maybe it's even harder to awaken, and it's to the point where it's like the sword, like the soul inside the sword basically, or the personality has to jive well enough with the actual user of the sword and the devil fruit all in like the same way.
So if someone else, so if someone else was wielding that sword, would it still be awakened?
That's actually a good question.
Interesting question.
Yeah,
because the black blades are still blackened when non-black blade users.
Exactly, exactly.
I wonder, probably.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like that's slightly different though, just because, like, yes, a black blade will stay a black blade regardless of who uses it, but a devil fruit, I feel like, is different in the way of like the user matters. You know,
like once you're awakened, like you're awakened, right? Like you're not reverting back.
Exactly.
Like,
yeah.
Like a Pokemon doesn't devolve when a different owner.
It's not like Digimon where you can just turn back. Yeah. So again, I think what this come down to is that there is probably invented by Vegapunk. There is an artificial way to awaken Zoans, and that's what the black smoke is. If it's a black smoke user, like it is with like most of the bad guys, quote unquote, we've seen so far, it's artificial, and that would then explain Kaku. Like Kaku, if the Zoan awakening is just the way that you just awaken it, then Kaku is the best devil fruit user in the entire verse. He's only had his fruit 2 years. He's had it 2 years, and apparently he's awakened already.
No,
Whereas
bro.
if there is an artificial way of doing it, it makes sense.
Nah, giraffes are just awesome, and he knows it.
God.
No, but like I get what you're saying. The only thing that I don't think is an artificial awakening as far as the black Hagoromo scarf is the Gorosei. I think they probably awakened theirs legitimately or through Emu's power. Like I truly don't believe that the Gorosei actually like have devil fruits. I think it's all just Emu's power. Um that's just my personal thought.
Why would they have hybrid forms then? Like, if it was just, if we only saw them in one form, I'd be totally on board with you. But we actually see them go into their hybrid forms and such.
I think
Which
it's
so far that's unique to devil fruits in the story.
I agree with that, but I think that they're basically like it's almost like they are empowered through these different like other because like they're all modeled after like Japanese mythological yokai. And so to me, it's just like the emu would basically have these yokai, and instead of having a devil fruit, they just are sort of spawns of demons. Like there's no fruit that they ate to get that power. They were imbued with
I
it.
think it's both. That's cool. That's cool. I think it's both. I think they are. So the original ones, anyway. I don't think it will be the same with Garling, but I think the original Gurusei were actually like part of a race, like similar, like almost the opposite of Lunarians, where they're demons. So like you could say it's the origin of where like ancient giants came from, if you wanted to, something like that, where they were literally like winged demons, and that's the abilities they can use, where like pentagrams, like black magic-y sort of stuff. I think that comes from there. Same with the ability to regenerate, because they can all do that. That's clearly not a devil fruit thing, because they can all do it.
Yeah, I think that it's all basically just Emu's power. Like that's the whole reason. Like I personally think that like everything that happened on Egghead, Emu was basically watching through their eyes. Like I almost think of it uh like not close to how
Pain?
yeah, basically. Like the original Nagato in that, basically gave each one of his surrogates a part of his power, and then he was able to watch through all their eyes. That's why he knew that Saturn fucked up. He was like, dude, you are like I'm done. You fucked up way too many times. You let somebody with Joy Boys hockey, not exist, and you did this one too many times. This is literally your entire fault, was because you made a deal with Vegapunk, and so I'm gonna have to take that power back. And that was like the whole thing, and that's why I don't believe any of them have the eternal youth surgery. I think they're just alive through Emu's power, and that's why Emu was able to take it away like that. And what did he do? He turned right into a skeleton.
Nice. Yeah, nice. I like that.
So can we take a second to talk about Gunko's powers here?
Yeah.
How bizarre and broken they are, yeah.
So broken! Like, she could just create flying crap.
She is an arrow logia. She's an arrow logia. That's all she is.
This is insane.
Yeah,
like,
she must.
This went from my attacks go in a specific direction to I can spawn flight craft birds. Is this based off of her legs? Like, are her legs like going into this? Is that what I'm seeing?
That's what I was about to say. I think Taku's right. I think maybe she doesn't have any limbs. I think all of it is the fruit.
It's very possible, because like all of them, literally every time you see her limbs, they have the bandages over them, like as if where the bandages end is where her limbs end. And then you see like the black boots and the black hands. You don't actually see like that she has legitimate limbs, which it would be very interesting because she's got like the double eye thing. Imagine if she was like a hybrid between long arm and long leg tribe, and to become a god's knight she had to cut off all of her limbs and use the fruit for all of them. Like they
Oh,
were
that's
so
spectacular.
discriminatory that they were like, yeah, we can't
That's
have a
great.
freak like you up in Marijois.
Yep,
You have to look normal. And so they're like, but
I
we'll
love it.
we'll give you this devil fruit, but you gotta do this.
Aku, that's
no, I
so
think
dark. I love
no,
it.
I think it's better if they don't even offer her the devil fruit. It's just
Yeah.
this is yeah.
Just
No,
let him.
she gets
Do it and
she
figure
gets
it out.
afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you want to be a god's knight? This is the cost.
Yeah. You're gonna be rolling around Marijois, literally. So yeah, that would be crazy.
That would be
But
really
it would also be very interesting to see because then that would go along with King Harold ripping out his own horns
yeah.
as well, which I thought was
Yeah.
weird. You know, if you're such
I just
what?
thought of something else. I'm literally just looking at it. So we know he ripped his horns off. How brilliant would it be if the horns on Loki's head are his father's old horns, that he doesn't have any himself, and that they have the helmet he made for himself, he made using his father's old horns.
That would be insanely dark. I love that actually though.
That'd be really good. That'd be really good.
It does seem like there was a point, and I believe that it was probably when he had to kill his own father, where Loki descended into madness a little bit, and that could be his like breaking point. Like we've all seen like characters in Shonen where they have to do something like atrocious, and then they lose themselves and like kill a bunch of people.
I can add to that. You know the person he was talking to on the Denden Mushi? What if it's all in his head? What if there is nobody on the other end?
Oh no.
No, that would be crazy.
He's just gone crazy and he's been talking to himself this whole time.
It would explain how he out of nowhere was able to maneuver his jacket off and
exactly.
You know?
It's all in his head. It's all in his head. He's been there for years. He needs someone to keep him company. It's not like people are coming down to pay him a visit and talk to him.
So my thought about the person on the Denden Mushi, which I'm sure, I don't know if Seb it keeps, I think that Shaggy is cheeky. And the reason I think that is because I think he was talking about when he escaped Impel Down and had to cut off his legs, which, I mean, dude, the amputee theme goes crazy in Elbaf.
It really does. Star Wars style now. Everyone's
yeah.
Get it.
But when he was talking about how like he was like, if I was there, I would have destroyed everyone. And he was like, oh, like you're only saying that because you're kind, because they like kept me impelled down and tortured me, and I was forced to cut off my legs. Like that would be, you know, very interesting. Or he could have even been talking about the traumatization of when he went against Roger with his whole fleet and somehow managed to get bodied when it was 1 versus like 100. You know, that could be a very traumatizing experience. Like all of that could be linking it back to Shiki, and Shiki and Shaggy aren't exactly too far off as far as, you know, the way things go.
And Loki's already had the little Luffy say the name wrong little motif to him.
Yep.
As long as they're both Shanks victims and they're how Shanks became a Yonko, I'm with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that would be great.
Mm-hmm.
So, but anyway, all right, let's get into this double spread here.
Oh, is it a double spread next? Yeah.
So then we got Loki looking up. Whoa. I didn't try to. But I really do want to know how Loki's seeing. But he looks up and he's just like, you've got to be kidding me. And they just like, yo, no way is in no world did I think, okay, the Shanks twins are gonna have a Cerberus sword. It's gonna shoot blades up into the air with the heads and then come down like missiles. That's crazy. And the swords are coming down, and Loki's like, no way. If that thing gets me, those celestial bastards. And they're coming down and they're like growling, and you see like the glimmer on the blade, and it just, all 3 swords hit him right in the gut. And he just yells, damn it all. Like, oh man. And then just like as if Dragon was here, we get like the 3 dots from Shamrock, And then Shamrock says, total subjugation. Holy aneurysm I just had trying to get that.
Sound it out.
Isn't feasible now. Let's start by taking their children hostage. We'll need an extra person. Understood. Who shall I call? Holy shit.
More God's Knights on the way. I'm with that.
Listen, and what did they do? They said, we're going to take the weakling ass children who have not been training.
Yep.
And then it says, oust castle. I'm telling you, it was red-haired. Liar. Shanks would never attack for no reason. Okay, so they're getting the giants back up. And it says, it's the truth. I saw him with my own eyes. Red Hair has visited Elbaf many times. I recognize him. And Luffy says, but I know Shanks. He's a super cool guy. Maybe it was just someone who looked like him. Bum, bum, bum. That's crazy. It was shocking. We were wondering what he was doing in the castle. Zoro said he just left Elbaf recently, right? Wouldn't it be weird for him to come back, come right back, just to skulk around? Luffy
also,
said,
these God's Knights are lousy at their job because they're not killing these witnesses.
yeah.
This is One Piece. This is One Piece program. You gotta eat that one. You gotta eat that, bro.
Just kill them. You could have like security Mushi be used to see them. There's plenty of other ways. You have to keep leaving these live witnesses.
You know what? Maybe it was their tact to try to spark beef between Shanks and Elbaf to find another way to get Elbaf out of the picture.
Oh, okay, yeah, maybe.
That's my headcanon right now for why they do some sloppy work.
Yeah, also known as Cope. Yeah, also known as Cope, Seb.
Yeah.
Cope, super Cope.
Yeah, he's just trying to survive off that copium.
Yep.
So Luffy says, even if you're telling the truth, there's no way it could be Shanks. Shanks is always calm and laid back. Him doing something like this doesn't add up. And Nami says, you really have faith in him, huh?
Right, and I might be the only One Piece fan in the world that doesn't care. Let me not say care. I don't like how much Luffy's a fanboy of Shanks. It legitimately bothers me.
Yeah, me too.
It's like, yo, shut up, bro.
Yo, hold on here. Hold on.
I'm so serious, bro.
But here's the thing. Luffy has less glaze for Shanks than a lot of other, like,
this is someone who's not seen him in 10 years. It's been 10 years since he's seen him. It's been a long time.
Bro, if you ever watch Naruto, there are some D1 glazers in Naruto. As soon as someone mentions Itachi, they're like, that guy, man. He would keep you from a mile away. You'd be in Infinite Tsukiyomi, just shitting yourself in the middle of class, like embarrassed.
That's the writing style of the author. You know what I'm saying? That's how he does it.
Is that the emo looking one?
Yeah. They all look like it. They're all related.
It's the one with the eyes and the.
Oh, okay, yeah, got you.
Yeah, not to mention the glaze that Hashirama gets from Madara. Like it's
Hashirama glaze is accepted at all times.
Really? Dang.
All times.
I know nothing about Naruto. People talk about Madara quite a lot, and it always makes me laugh because do you know what the name translates as? It's what? Spots. This super evil villain, his name is Spots, and he's going to be a super threatening villain.
It's actually
the Spider-Man movie that dropped a couple years ago.
Oh yeah.
He was a gag villain. That was the point.
You got there, man.
But the whole point of him being called Spots is because of the commas in their eyes. It's like the spots in their eyes.
I see.
Yeah, so like that's their like eye technique.
You look deep into everybody's eyes, man.
And
fall in love with them.
It's one of those names that's only threatening if you don't know what the translation is.
But I heard that the third Hokage is translated to worthless.
Chill out.
And the second is racist. So anyway, all right. Seb, you are up. Next 3 pages.
All right. So Luffy responds to Nami. He says, "You betcha, Nami. It'd tick you off just as much if someone badmouth Telmer. Telmer is hilarious. She corrects him saying it's Belmer-san. Is it Belmer or Belmary? I don't remember. But
Is
it's a long
Belmer.
time ago for me. Belmer, right?
Yeah.
So then, well, I don't think we ever got these guys' names. One of the giants says, so it was a lookalike. That or a brother maybe. Shanks' brother, well, if he has one, he'd probably be a nice guy too.
Again, see, this is more. This is Luffy being gullible and being short-sighted, like he was with Hajrudin. He doesn't. He's an idiot. He's a moron.
Yo, I just want to say, Shanktum is in the chat said, Hashirama breathes Madara. No one could ever match him. That's exactly what happens. He knows exactly what I'm talking about.
No one's ever glazed anyone harder in life.
Dude, seriously. I hope someone out there derides me as much as he does. That's crazy. Yeah.
All right. And then we get Luffy more comments. It says, but honestly, he never talked about his family. I heard that he was raised on a pirate ship from when he was little. I figure Roger and Rayleigh were his real family. Their whole crew except for Buggy. And then we see the man. That's crazy. Why Buggy gotta get shot like that? We do see what's the name of the hat? The Amagasa hat man seemingly walking up towards Oust Castle.
Oh shit.
So
that looks like Shiki hair to me.
So I honestly, based off the framing of this conversation, I would put money on Gabon right now.
Yeah, same here. Yeah. I think the hair is a red herring. I think definitely the hair is a red herring.
Oh man, it does look like Shiki from the back a little though.
Yeah, but what would Shiki? Yeah, the cover page thing. What would Shiki have to do with the Doctor on Roger's ship?
I was gonna say. I mean,
but I have a whole theory about that. But
okay.
So they were talking as friends, which if it's Scopper Gabon makes sense at least. If it's Shiki, why is he drinking with him? Why are they hanging out?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean,
like they were the most, apart from like Rox and Roger and stuff. Like they were the ultimate of rivals. Shiki versus the Roger Pirates.
Yeah,
I would say the smart money's on Gabon right now for this.
Yeah, 100%.
I think you're probably right, but it would be still cool. But anyway, all right, let's keep it rolling.
And then we cut to Frankie's group, the Treasure Tree Adam. It says, unbelievable. Adam would as far as the eye can see. And I thought it was meant to be rare. Ha 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 ha. Wow, I had no idea it was so valuable overseas. And then I believe that was
Ripley.
Ripley.
Thank you. She says, maybe I should start selling some on the side. Weren't you sent here to keep an eye on me? As she's holding Frankie up like he's an action figure, which is absolutely hilarious.
So funny.
That's so funny. It's so funny.
This looks like a page out of Toy Story. Like, what is happening?
Yeah, Ripley continues. Frankie continues. Weren't you sent here to keep an eye on me? Saul seemed pretty strict about it. He was all like, it's a sacred tree, bucko. Don't go cutting it down. Now you hear? And Ripley responds, haha, you sound just like him. Frankie says, still, I guess stealing from under the giants' noses is a tall order. Maybe that explains the markup. Basically, the price.
No, I was going to say potentially then, since we know that the world government by the God's Knights have been here before, so maybe they steal Adam wood, and that's what the marine battleships are made of.
Maybe
that would make sense. But I also just love that Frankie is making tall people jokes. Like that's a tall order. Like while he's being held like an action figure.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Frankie's totally the type to get a giant pregnant.
Oh
anyway, Frankie then says, what's that? It's a mural, as he's looking into the distance. And then Ripley responds, it's graffiti from eons ago. Some kids probably etched right into the bark and it's got fossilized. It's now designated as a cultural heritage site thanks to its enormous historical value. Frankie says, is a punk's doodle that big a deal? Ripley responds, it's said to date back somewhere between 900 and 800 years ago.
Ooh.
If that's true, then that would place it right in the middle of the Void Century. Frankie is shocked. He says, what? We got to show Robin. She'd be thrilled. And then Frankie says, hey, ain't this drawing kind of odd for Elbaf? Not all the figures look like giants. Ripley responds, quite as far as we know, there were definitely times where the races of the world clashed. But this kind of cooperation is unheard of. And you see some pictures of different, like based off the graffiti. There's like somebody with a crown with maybe a trident.
That's King Neptune then.
Huh?
That would be King Neptune.
Yeah. I think it might be a mermaid there. Yeah. We see maybe a robot that I don't know if that. I don't know. Maybe that's an ancient Oars. It could be.
I thought it's an ancient giant, yeah. And then the next one looks like it could be a mink if it's different races. Like again,
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. I was. What's the name of the thing that carried Joy Boys hockey? What was his name? Emeth. I was thinking maybe it's an Emeth.
You think it's a robot? I thought it was an ancient giant.
Yeah.
I saw the one eye and I thought, how interesting would it be if the original ancient giants were cyclopses, and that's where the three-eyed race comes in, where it's just where they crossbred with other races. So instead of it being just a one-eyed tribe, now you have three eyes instead. So like if cyclopses and humans had children, it would have three eyes, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Very
I'm still sticking with Emmet for now.
Fair enough.
I think that's 3 for me. So
yeah. All right, Broker, you are up.
So here we are. That's why I think it's probably just some kid's dream. Interesting choice of words. So back to the Walrus School now, which is the giant school. Class in session, everyone listen up. So they're being taught now. This goes back to again, they're not being taught to fight, even though they're playing fighting, but then they're going straight back into school. The juxtaposition there is quite interesting.
The old Gohan becomes a scholar and becomes worthless.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's
worthless.
Gohan's worthless. I'm sorry. If you can't use an ability in the heat of the moment, you're screwed. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, and not make it just some ass pull, out of nowhere.
We're scaling DBZ writing now.
Listen, I'm just saying.
The answer can't always be Super Saiyan 2. Do you know what I mean? That can't always be the answer given.
Listen, they know how to write a good movie. The Broly movie was good, and everything made sense in it. But if you get into superheroes, where all of a sudden he pulls out this like ancient form out of nowhere in the heat of the moment, and then it's like, dude, come on now, like let's be real.
You say everything makes sense. I could probably argue that if we were to go into it, but let's just carry on.
It makes more sense than that. How about that?
Oh yeah, agreed. So now we're cutting over to the Owl Library with Robin. So this is the Harley, she said. What was the Harley? Remind me.
It was like the text that talked about Joy Boy or Mika.
Some ancient text. Then we get Saul saying, "Yep," and Chopper going, "Whoa, it's so big and old." Then he's coughing because he's got giant dust over him. This pretty tome here preserved many of the rich myths and legends of Elbaf, although it spawned countless interpretations too. So I think that's probably a remark on most holy books. So again, like even in the real world now, we have holy books that are taken in lots of different connotations. There's God knows how many forms of just Christianity. Did
y'all peep Chopper's dance though?
Yeah.
Where's the dance?
He's doing it.
He does a
little... I see. I didn't think it was him dancing. I thought it was him coughing up the giant dust.
It's probably that too. A little bit
I
of
could be
both.
wrong. So next page. That's why all the warriors of Elbaf believe in very different versions of the sun god. Ain't that the funniest thing you ever heard? And Robin's then saying, may I read it? Of course, the narrative is split into 3 distinct sections. It's said that the third world refers to the present day, meaning it's a type of prophecy. Mind you, legends of Nika have spread silently all over the world. The only thing they all have in common is that he appears to be booming with a booming laugh to this beat. And then it's Scopper doing the same thing that Kuma did.
He's even doing the pose and everything.
Yeah, it's exactly the same dance from what I can see there. So, then we go switching obviously between Robin and Frankie, but it starts with, I'll read it out loud then. The first world, the earth is engulfed in flame, and the hearts of men. Oh, next page. Oh goodness. Okay. So where's this stuff? So we're starting from the first world, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Taku, this is whoa. Okay, that's a big,
wow.
big page. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
goodness, that's a lot. Okay, that's right. I'll let Taku. I'll let you take this. It's your pod. And that's a lot of.
It's a lot.
That's a lot there. That's some big important text.
Yeah. All right. Let's
Take it.
do it. The first world, the earth is engulfed in flame, and the hearts of men burn with desire. They reach for the forbidden star. From whispered prayers, the sun god rose, beckoned by the enslaved. The god of the land was enraged. With a serpent of fire, they cast the world into ruin. Darkness fell, death reigned, and they would not meet again. All right. The second world. A breath stirred in the abyss. The god of the forest summoned its devils while the sun lit the embers of war. Those of the half and full moons dreamed, yet the ones who slew the sun defied themselves, evoking the wrath of the sea god. They would not meet again. The third world. Now, this would be the prophecy. Chaos reigns, the world drifts in a void, yet time does not erase the memory of the promised day. Its shadow looms as the voice of the half moon echoes through the ages, and once more the sun god shall rise, laughing, dancing, guiding the world to its final act. The sun is reborn, a new dawn will break. Surely this time they will meet.
That is.
I was not anticipating all that.
So this like hieroglyph was what I slightly got spoiled on. I saw a small portion of this. Someone must have cropped it to like talk about, and so I saw that there was something, but I didn't know exactly what it was. So this is really interesting.
I'm trying to look at every single
character.
Everything. Yeah, every single. There's so much here. There's so much here.
I don't even know where to begin.
Right. This is crazy. It's almost not even One Piece. What I'm looking at right now.
So
I'm just going to start with something quick. I don't like the idea of prophecy. I just don't. I know some people love it, and that's fine. I just don't like the idea that it's like, all of this has happened and will happen again. Sort of particular events. Because it takes away from Luffy. Again, if it's Luffy's thing is freedom, if you are prophesized to do something, that's the opposite of freedom. They're completely counterintuitive. I know. Again, I know there'll split opinions and stuff like that. But again, I personally loved the idea of Luffy was just doing everything with absolutely no second thought. Like he wasn't doing something for some big overall, to save the world. He was just wanted to be Pirate King. But now the way it makes it sound here, it was sun god, all this sort of stuff. I assume so. If we start, what side should we start on? Should we go from left to right, or
I was trying to scan it from right to left just because that's how the Japanese
so?
do, right? But I don't. Is what's underneath each text supposed to be representative of what
I don't.
that is? I don't think it
I
is. I think it's the opposite.
So I think. I think it is. So
I
that's
think
what's
it
like the
is.
first. Yeah, the
Oh
first
no,
world.
there is flame down here.
That's yeah. There's flame going. That's what I was saying. The flame seems to be going from both sides. So there's flame coming from the serpent, and there's flame coming from what again they'll call the forest god, I suppose. And then the third, well, again, so I assume that's Emu. I said for God, well over a year now, that Emu is going to be literally his devil fruit is going to be Lucifer. Like it will be like the human fruit model Lucifer, or angel fruit model Lucifer, something like that. Anyway, because then obviously I assume that's meant to be the mother flame in its hand, right?
Mhm.
And then you've got a pipe. So you've got one ship on Emu's side, well, on this demon's side anyway, underneath it. Then you've got Warrior. Oh, this is it. The panel from above. It's there. It's this bit here. The mermaid, the mink, and the
Yeah.
something else. Yeah.
So is
Oh,
that a Lunarian?
at the
Or
top. Yeah. So at the top, I think that's so. If we look at the hand at the top, the one that's not holding the sun, I think that's meant to be a Lunarian, isn't it? With the wing and the flame.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
do
Also,
y'all think that's the Arc Maxim right there? Like this looks like the Noah potentially. Like there's so
Yeah,
much here, man.
that obviously could be Laboon or some giant whale anyway.
Another thing that's very interesting is the fact that this person that is like right under what is to be Nika is looks exactly like Loki.
That's what I'm saying. It is, of course, it's Loki. It has to be.
Yeah. What I
Hey,
would
which one?
like, the one that's right under him, and it looks like he has like a long stick.
Okay. Yeah.
Because like
Yeah,
the way the
I think
horns curl up, it looks exactly like Loki, long
Well,
hair.
I don't
Yeah.
know. So I guess that is the prophecy portion of it, right?
Yeah.
But this is supposed to have been something that had happened, right? Or is happening
no,
live while this
this
person's drawing.
this is the one happening now. That's the one happening now.
Okay.
What is
'Cause
interesting as well is we get a ship, and it has the same symbol that is on Nika's shield,
Mhm.
right underneath the Emeth looking thing.
It's obviously very similar to the Kuja Pirates one as well. Because then you've got
There's just
what's
so
next?
much here.
This
So
is
much here.
ridiculous. So that looks
So much.
again. I'm looking now. That looks more like that's like a mermaid princess rather than it is like with the hair back. So no, so it could still be Neptune, I suppose. Could still be King Neptune.
Okay, hear me out. All of the main figures around Luffy or Nika are his crewmates or future crewmates.
Go on.
So right under here, we see like a mermaid with the Triton and everything like that. That would be the possibility of Shirahoshi joining for the war at least.
Then you've got the Tontata, which is obviously what's next to her.
Yes, and then the Tuntata. Then we have Loki, obviously. This one up here that we thought was like an Emeth type thing, I think it might eventually be a Frankie. Like, I think that's what that might entail.
Yeah, I'm with you.
See, to me, I'm thinking this is just what happened then. You know what I mean? And this is Emmett. This is his giant. This is etc. You're just saying it's gonna happen again.
Yeah, yes. This is so it says the third prophecy is the one that's taking place now as we speak. The second one is the second and first worlds, as they're said here. They're the ones that happened before.
Yeah, and they're on the far right, and then like center, and then the one on the left is supposed to be the representation of what is to come.
That's got to be obviously the far right. Then has to be what do you call it? The ancient kingdom with all the technology because it looks technological.
They're building.
Terrence Matthews said a lot of people online are saying that Roger saw this mural and said he saw that Emu was there and he's like, I'm supposed to fight that guy? No, oh no. I don't think
that.
I don't see that either, but that would be if he bitched out like that, that would ruin my view of Roger.
In the middle, I looked. There's obviously the Ark, the Noah, right? And I thought it's underwater. It's not just underwater. It's also an elephant. Look, it's got a little trunk.
Yeah, which is probably Zunisha.
It's got to be, right. It has to be Zunisha. But then what are they? So what are they gathering? So it appears that it looks like a conveyor belt, doesn't it? They're gathering. So that's, to me, that is them gathering like the what's the word? I just lost it now. The mother flame. They're gathering, and that's what powers that city.
Yeah, so it's possible that on the moon they would have had that.
I think Roger saw this mural for real.
I hope not.
I mean, it's very possible. I mean, he must have gone to every island.
This is just it. I think he probably did. I just really hope not, because then, unfortunately, it becomes even Roger was just doing what he was told to do, almost, was prophesized to do. Like, it means that Roger made decisions because of this mural. And then it becomes like a paradox. Like, would he have still made the decisions that make this mural, prophecy come true if he hadn't read the prophecy on this mural in the first place? It's a paradox.
I guess we'll get the answer when Gabon reveals himself.
Yeah, I mean, it's also... It also doesn't have to be like a predestination.
Then what's the point? But if it's not predestined, then what's the point in it? So no, what I mean by that is, if even the first or second world were predestined, then then all of it is. If even just one of these things is destiny, it means that the third one and the second one wouldn't have happened if the first one wouldn't have been destined to happen in the first place. So if any of these are destiny,
to my understanding, they're just recording what happened in the first and second world and saying because they did not meet, that they believe that they will meet in the third world. Maybe that's me coping, but that was my interpretation of it when I
first. That's my thought.
That's fine, but again, it would also mean then that they have knowledge of something that was originally set in its own way anyway. Because if the things are here, it was engulfed in flame, etc. If the first two aren't prophesied, that would still mean the third one is.
Fair.
So it wouldn't really matter to us in the moment where we are in the story now. The only one that matters to us is the third one.
So,
and let's be honest, that's sounding like everything that's happened so far. So chaos reigns, corrupt world government, shadows, moon, half moon. Obviously, that's the what's the Onigashima kind of thing. That's Wano, right? And the full moon, that's obviously the Minx.
Yeah,
and they're saying it's and they're calling it a final act. So that means that by their own estimation, all of this is going to happen. If it was at least a little bit more vague, where it could say like, something either bad is going to happen or something good is going to happen, we'll see. But one of these two events will happen. That would be better. It would still not. Again, I still wouldn't like it. But the way it's said here, it's only saying that it will end in a good way.
So
a new dawn will break. Exactly. A good ending.
Yeah, a very good ending, especially compared to the first two.
So that's not technically true. I feel like all this is saying stuff that we already know. So like chaos reigns, the great pirate era, and how things are going. The world drifts in a void because there's like no actual king of the pirates. Like there's a power vacuum, there's like a void in strength among the others, as well as like there's just like a deadlock for power as far as world government, warlords, Yonko, all that stuff. So it's just kind of like that. And then Yet time does not erase the memory of the promised day. Not as sure what that is implying yet, but it says its shadow looms as the voice of the half moon echoes through the ages. And that's obviously like the Kozuki type stuff. And the shadow looming is probably more or less Emu. And it says, once again, the sun god shall rise, laughing, dancing, guiding the world to its final act. And, that makes sense because we just had Luffy, who is the sun god, basically awaken the fruit for the first time in 800 years, or what we thought was the first time in 800 years. And guiding the world to its final act. We know that this is going to surmount to a big conflict. And then so the sun is reborn, a new dawn will break, and surely this time they will meet, which could imply that there is them meeting. It could be the fact that, oh,
but there's no fourth world is the point. So the problem we have here is that it's finite, it's finished. So there's no fourth world where we don't know what the outcome was. It makes it very apparent here that this is it. It's like things will be okay. Like saying things like laughing, dancing, and dawn. None of those sound negative. The first two sound really bleak. First one very bleak. Then the one after that, Wrath of the Sea God, Wrath obviously sounds bleak. The third one kind of sounds like it will end okay. Maybe not like in an ideal, but at least good compared to the first two.
Well, I think the dawn is referring to Luffy's comeback. I mean, that's
also the important thing here is that this was written, right, 800 years ago, so 900 years ago by estimation, so not even guaranteed, could be way further back. All three of these were drawn at the same time. So at the very least, part of it was prophesied. Like the fact that there's a Lunarian there, right? That means that all the Lunarians are supposed to be hunted to extinction, but one survived, at least in King. So they got that right. Like the way Loki looks, they got that right as well. The Kuja ship, and then obviously beneath that is meant to be the Kazuki ships. There's a lot here for it to have been not prophesied, if you know what I mean. Like a mermaid princess. How did they know there would be a princess?
It can't be off, right? Oda wrote this into the story to be accurate,
exactly.
right?
Yeah. How did they know there would be a princess? How did they know that what's his name? What's the name of the king called? Neptune. How did they know King Neptune would have a daughter?
Well, so what we can think about here is the fact that this was probably written around the time that the second world was happening, because they had enough knowledge of the first world to write down what happened. They had enough knowledge of the second world to write down what was happening. And the third is similar to a prophecy and or, what is to come. But a new dawn rising could just be Luffy coming back. I mean, he died, he came back, and it was considered the dawn of the new era. And then
but they got it right. Like that's my point. They got the prophecy right. They got it right. The new dawn, like again, someone laughed. The sun god shall rise. They were right. He did. Luffy did rise. So
to me, again, how whoever ended this does seem to be more hopeful than expecting. Surely they will meet, right? Like it's not like they will meet in next time.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, even if you take that all away, though, the middle bit they got right. The sun god shall rise again. Luffy did. He is we know that Luffy doesn't know, but again, the sun god fruit has risen again. So that one part of the prophecy is already correct. Therefore, it might be an incomplete prophecy, but it's still a prophecy.
But here's the thing. Surely they will meet. I personally think that them saying surely they will meet is not a positive and or negative thing. Well, it's not a positive thing. What I think that means is surely they will meet. I think that's Nika and Emu. I think that and that it's not foretelling that there's going to be a resolution that is positive. It just means that they will
No,
meet. That's why I think in the
yes,
second world, when it says they will not meet, they will not meet
then,
again. What's up?
then how do you explain the sun god rising
Yeah,
as not
like
being prophecy? I mean, I said that is a prophecy that has already come true.
yeah. So don't get me wrong. I do believe that they did prophesize that these things would happen, but
And
like
the
they
chaos reigning, they got that right as well.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. There is a decent amount of prophesizing in here, but it doesn't really lean its way to whether or not it's a positive or a negative thing, is what I'm getting at. Like, this to me seems like, I mean, to me, it seems like maybe the thoughts of someone hopeful. You know, like we prophesize so many times in the past that Dragon would do something influential, right? That's us being very hopeful that he's actually going to fucking do
Not
something.
me,
Like,
not me.
but I wouldn't say that I'm a prophesizer. I think that it would be, you know, natural considering they know that the sun god exists.
But you're not putting it onto a mural for us, the reader, to read, and not just us, the reader, but the characters to read as well. Like so they know this now, so they can't unknow it. Even if only Frankie reads this, right? Even if nobody else does, he can't not know what he's read. So I'm sorry, Robin. Sorry, Robin's the one reading it, right? Robin can't unknow this. So it means that no matter what now, her decision will in some way be influenced by the prophecy she read. It's the bootstrap paradox.
Rosa, can I ask you, because this isn't the first time prophecies have been brought to light in One Piece. Is it because of the scale of it that you're upset at it, or just prophecies in general?
Any prophecy. So anytime something is so the difference is, so far up to this bit now, with that line about the sun god, none of the prophecy that actually come true or shown signs of coming true yet. So that's one of those things where it could go either way.
Right.
The sun god has come back. That one's it's already been ticked off. So well, check, check, done. That bit's done. So why would we not believe the other bits won't also come true?
I gotta read this thing like 100 times, bro.
Yeah.
So
I've
been like,
I keep seeing more and more things that I didn't see the first time.
So one thing that I do want to point out is it looks like we have in this what seems to be almost like 3 Gorosei members transformations, right? We have this giant snake that's similar to Jupiter on the right hand side. Then we have this bird thing that's spewing fire. That's like what's his name? Mars. And then Emu's kind of on the left hand side. Yeah. So I think that's kind of interesting. But one thing that I wanted to point out is in the first one, we get all of the Skypian gods in this. So we have the sun god, obviously, in the first world. We get the god of the land, the earth god, in the first one as well. So there's a god conflict there. The second world, we get the forest god, and then at the bottom, we would get the sea god. So we've gotten all 4 gods that Skypiea mentions in these tomes, basically, these predictions. So that is very interesting, and it just brings back the question of who these gods are and like what they mean for the world. Are they still alive? Is it similar to Luffy? Do they have fruits? Like what is the thing here? And
yeah,
it's very interesting because we also get this big tree in the center, and I'm like, okay, well, is that a god? Is that the tree? Is that the forest god? Or is it meaning something similar to like?
I thought it meant Elbaf. That was the Elbaf side of it.
And that may be too, but I mean, it's right under the second one where it says, the
God of the forest.
God of the forest. You know,
that's what I think.
And it says that a breath stirred in the abyss. The god of the forest summons its devils while the sun lit the embers of war, those of the half moon and full moons dreamed, yet the ones who slew the sun defied themselves, evoking the wrath of the sea god. They would not meet again. Which makes me think that, so the original first world, I feel like, is when the Void Century happened.
Yeah, so I'm really trying to look through this thing so much, man. It's
My
so
my
crazy.
take my take on the second world then it might have something to do with Joy Boy's apology to the Mermaid Princess. Obviously not Shirahoshi, the one of that time. So maybe humans killed Joy Boy, and in her rage, she then but she sent out these Sea Kings to like lay waste to the rest of the world, like, to destroy things, just like in her anger.
So
When I think sea again, the god of the sea is Poseidon. That is what Shirahoshi is. That's what Shirahoshi is the sea god. So that's what you can check that one off already. That's what Poseidon is.
yeah, and I would
Poseidon's the god
agree
of the
with that,
sea.
but I'm very interested to see how they represent the gods of the forest, the earth, the sun, and everything
Yeah,
like that,
I think you're
because
right. I don't think. Yeah, I think you're right. I don't think all of them are devil fruits.
and
Mm,
that's where I was going. It does it
Yeah,
have to be a devil fruit? Can it be a devil
exactly.
fruit? Or even crazier, if we're just talking about actual gods and things like that, is there a possibility that maybe Luffy isn't actually a god, like in
Oh,
his Nika
I've
form?
been playing.
Hold on, you cut out something crazy. Um,
yeah, I can't hear him. Yo,
yeah,
Taku,
what's up?
I don't know if you can. I've counted, and maybe I counted wrong, but there was 20 nations, right? 20
Yes,
allied nations that started the world government, and then one of them betrayed them. Because I'm
yes.
looking at the number of people here to the right near this king, and it's like 19. So I'm like, maybe would you count the king too? Like the people holding the stuff and
Yes,
carrying it.
so
Like there's like
I
20
see
of
that.
them.
There's 19 people in total on like the escalator looking thing and on the sides and stuff
Mhm.
like that. One,
Yeah.
and then the other one would have been, if we're talking 20 kingdoms, that the one in black with the crown or whatever would be either would probably be Lily.
Either Lily or Emu, right? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Or I don't know,
Yeah. So I mean, uh
bro.
that's really crazy because it's like they're all carrying something or have something with them, basically ponying things up to create that. And what I
I'm
another
seeing
thing
so
that
much here now, bro.
yeah,
I see the Noah, right? And then I'm seeing
Yep.
this is two animals each. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
yeah,
Like,
again. So this is again. So someone asked me. This is one of the ones I was going to do with the like did theories for I made theories for somebody, and this was Kebs, and it was basically about what is the point of the Noah, and I think the Noah is going to be used almost ironically in the end of the story, where this again the fishmen who have been persecuted this whole time. They are going to be the ones going around saving humans, and the world starts to flood. They're going to be the ones letting them onto this giant ship.
Another thing that I see that is really crazy. So you see all of these people, right? The 20 kingdoms, which is actually, oh man, this is really good. So look at if you look to the right, you see all of these buildings with like smoke coming out of them and gears underneath them and stuff like that.
yeah,
What if that's the representation of the ancient kingdom being
That's
so
what I said.
advanced? And
yeah.
then if you look at
Yeah,
all
that's
of the
what I said.
people that are basically giving this stuff to what is essentially Emu, they're all turned away from the ancient kingdom and basically giving something towards Emu, like basically turning against the ancient kingdom, which
Mm.
is exactly what happened. It was 20 nations that rallied against to basically stop the ancient kingdom. Um, Another thing that I found interesting is this serpent here. It Although the serpent and the bird do look like Gorosei members, and maybe it could also show us how the Gorsei's powers
Oh, sorry, I thought you were talking
have
about-
basically been, could have been stolen by people in the past. It looks like it's attacking, and this bird thing is attacking back, and they're like having a power struggle in the center here. It's almost like they're both breathing fire at each other. And then it definitely looks like the Arc Maxim right here, and it's shooting electricity down. And right above it is the moon where Enel was.
Yeah,
Like,
but it's again prophecy again. They at the very least they prophesize the Arc Maxim as well. It's right there. That's more prophecy.
I gotta go look at the
they
Enel
prophesize.
scriptures. I gotta go look at the
They-
Enel.
They prophesied there would be a ship like the Noah. They were right.
but here's the thing, Broker. That doesn't necessarily mean that is Enel's ship. That could have been the one that they originally took to the moon. And that's why they built the city of gold on the moon, because that would have made sense to happen around that time.
I see. So you think Enel copied the designs from somewhere else that already existed?
Yeah, because I mean, there was originally a whole society up there in the way, and then what did they do? They made hieroglyphics, actually very similar to this.
Yeah, I'm trying to find that, like the full colors, the full spread of that.
Yeah, because they also did something similar where they all were giving something to, I believe it was the, what was it? Now I'm gonna lose my mind.
It's the altar, because that's what Thingy went there to stop. Remember, what's his name? Noland. They were sacrificing people on the altar, and Nolan was the one that made them stop.
Yeah.
But it could also be like a heavenly tribute, because there's 20 of them, and they're going, and they're. The thing is, so when it seems that when they go down, do you think there's meant to be halos above their heads?
How long ago was the Enel stuff though? Like what he was seeing, would that be the first world or the second world?
Exactly, but we need.
I would think it was the first.
I would think it's the first, right?
Like again, it all comes down to conjecture. There's no evidence for any.
I guess I wonder, like, when the automata were created too.
Yep.
Because
I always assumed that, again, Lunarians, Lunar, Moon, I assumed that they lived there first. That's where they lived. When they got rid of all their natural resources, they left the moon. They came down and they started living on top of the on top of the red line. Then when they were kicked off of the red line is when they started going to like things like Sky Islands and stuff like that. I think that came later. So it wouldn't actually be that. It would be hundreds of years ago, but not like 900 years ago.
Ooh, some Big B Stay Low said, I believe that ship in the sky is Uranus. I don't believe they ever stated when the ancient weapons were made exactly, which would actually kind of make sense because it's right above Emu. It's shooting lightning down from it, similar to how it Luciad. So I mean, that's actually a good call too.
Yeah, but when I saw lightning, I thought Enel, because Enel lightning.
The reason why I thought it is because it has the rowing boat. Like, it has the rowing, and it looks like lightning. But it could totally, like, technically, the Maxim could just be Enel's take on what the actual Lucia or Uranus was.
It's
probably what it is.
His own version. Yeah, his own version.
Yeah, so I actually I had a theory a while back because of the Enel cover story that different people made different ancient weapons. So I had that the ancient kingdom, like the section that had like the Kozuki clan and the Minks and stuff like that, made Pluton. The Birkins, Lunarians, and Skypeans all made Uranus. That's why it flies. And then the ancient shipwrights were also fishmen, and that's why, like, they basically used like a ritual to create almost like, because I'm just going to call it what it is. Poseidon reincarnating and stuff like that is almost like an Avatar: The Last Airbender type shtick. And so they maybe did like an ancient ritual to create Poseidon and give her like the advanced conquerors like slash thing that she has over sea kings. Um, so very, very interesting. Like there's just so much here. Like I could probably look at this for hours and come up with more and more every
It
single
is.
time.
All right. So this left side, because I've been looking at it from side to side, right?
Okay.
This left-turn side right here seemingly is representative of the war to come, where I don't know if that's a samurai here, giants, mermaids,
Kuja clan.
Shanks, the Kuja clan, yeah. Obviously Joy Boy. Are these the Lunarians, or is the thing holding the fire the Lunarians? Is it throwing fire at the people?
I thought the one that's next to Laboon would be the Lunarians because it's got black wings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's got the flames on his head too. So are
Yeah.
the people standing on top of the whale the fishmen, I'm assuming?
That's what I was thinking.
Man, there's so much here.
It looks like
So,
there's
hang on. So they're the only ones that have rain above them, and one of them, the one I think we're forgetting, is the rain god. The rain god hasn't really been mentioned. That was one of the ones from the Skypian prophecy. So that's rain again.
Mike.
So
yeah, you're right.
And
Maybe
this tree, is it producing devil fruits?
So I was going to say, if any of those little leaves have the little devil fruit swirl on it, then 100% that's what. There isn't. I've looked. None of them.
What another thing that I was thinking, it just made me laugh when Broker was like, "Oh, we haven't mentioned the rain god," and I was like, "Well, that's because Dragon ate the rain god fruit and he doesn't be doing anything, so he's not even mentioned."
His predecessor wasn't doing shit either.
It's just it's not
he
even
was
that.
just
So,
like,
again, do you know what it is? I still hate the idea of what's the name? Emu having anything to do with Luffy, because he's introduced so late in the story compared to other characters and other villains and things like that. It just doesn't make it doesn't excite me as a reader. It's like, so basically everything up to this point was just like nothing. It's just little bits of story. Whereas at least if we have Blackbeard, at least he's appearing and doing things throughout the story. He's mentioned really early on. Whereas Emu is never mentioned until, poof, there you go, Emu existed.
I've always thought that the logic behind somebody being at the top there was sound, right?
Oh yeah, but for somebody like Dragon to fight, but not Luffy, like what really do Luffy and Emu have against each other apart from something relating to the Joy Boy?
Because he's to me, he's truly the antithesis of Luffy. That's my whole thing. Is
But he's also the antithesis of Dragon.
Is he though? Like, I mean, I guess
Dragon wants the world to be free of this corruption, right? Emu wants the opposite.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
Emu is a political villain. Dragon is fighting against a corrupt political structure.
I get you, but here's where I differ, because we have 1100 plus chapters of showing why Luffy is better suited for that role than Dragon. We know that Dragon, yes, he's fighting the political war, and that's kind of where we get like, he would, to me, he would be much better fighting a Gorosei member who keeps that corrupt political system in there, or like the head of the world government.
But Emu is the top of that. Emu is above that.
So Broker, to me, and this is gonna sound disrespectful.
That's right.
But Dragon is just like I think I got this from Morge too. He's just like the wiper. It just the scale has to go larger. He's
who do you think Dragon faces off against in the final war then? Who's the fight for Dragon?
And that's why I brought it up to Wiper. Wiper got his fight with Emu. He didn't win it, but he did have a one-on-one with one of the underlings. You know what I mean? Like that happens almost every arc, where like the main guy who Luffy's helping is
So, but then, all it does then is piss over the fact of people saying, "Oh no, the One Piece story is bigger than Luffy." If Luffy is going to fight every major villain, then no, it's not. The story's about Luffy. So that argument that people give where, oh no, the One Piece world is so much bigger. It's not like Dragon Ball where Goku always wins. No, it's where Luffy always wins.
oh, man. It's about Big Luffy, bro.
Yeah, it
No, no,
is.
but again, I don't like that because I've already had that with every other shonen battle manga. Like
But-
people argue that One Piece is supposed to be different because of its world building. World building is going nowhere apart from, oh, Luffy will fix it. Don't worry.
We'll build a world for Luffy to fix.
Yeah, but
That's all it is.
here's the thing.
But this is the problem. Whereas Luffy has no idea how to actually implement any of the things he says he wants. With Otama on Wano, I'll make this world a place where you can eat as much as you want every day. Okay, who's growing the food? Who's selling the food?
But that's the point.
Yeah.
No,
He's an idiot.
that's the point of the Arlong Park little speech he has, right? Like, I want these things, I can't do them myself. I can want all this crap all I want, but I'm gonna have a crew that's gonna make it possible for me.
Right, but his crew had nothing. But they didn't. That's my point. No, at the moment, Wano is not a place where everyone can eat as much as they want. It isn't.
It ain't.
But
Exactly. So, but he said when before I leave Wano, it will be that. So he's wrong. He's just wrong.
Listen, who's out here eating? He got hosed with him too. But the thing is, like, Emu literally is the opposite of Luffy, so that makes him the prime candidate. Like, sure, Dragon wants freedom, and sure, maybe he has everything in his mind and, like, you know, a plan on how to obtain it. But that's not why I watch One Piece. I watch One Piece to watch Luffy, who is ignorant of the inner workings of, you know, political systems and stuff like that, tear down those systems and put people in positions to build them up themselves. He wants to be the freest person on the seas, right? He wants to be the freest person in general. And Emu wants everyone under thumb. Like, that is the conflicting forces. Dragon may want people to be free, but he doesn't want people to be free at the cost of other people. Like, Luffy just wants everyone to be free in general, and he doesn't care how it works.
Right, but that's not realistic. So it means that Luffy will. That's Luffy's dream. He'll never get it.
Yeah, but Luffy's not smart enough to enact all of these things, and that's like, like, if you
then
want,
why does he have to be the one to solve the problem? Why can't from the fact that Dragon has done nothing?
No, you need hold on, Broker. You do need an unstoppable force of will and an embodiment to represent freedom, to be the thing that breaks that chain. And then it's up to the people to fix this. You know what I mean? Like, Luffy's not a politician. He's not going to be out here.
So this is the problem. 99% of all revolutions that ever happen are overtaken by people that are just as corrupt as before. So what you do actually need, you don't just need somebody that says freedom for all. You need somebody like Dragon that says, actually, no, this is the right way to do shit.
And that's why Dragon exists, right? It's if Dragon's dead at the end of the series.
Dragon actually? But then what's Dragon going to do?
Let's put it this way. What I'm saying is, it's Luffy's job. They have separate jobs. Dragon's job is to build an army strong enough to assist Luffy in the end to overcome this force, right? Based off the narrative. After that's done, who then picks up the work to make the actual world government functional? To make an actual overseeing body that isn't corrupt? That's Dragon's job. Luffy's just a pirate. He's going to go on his way, get on his ship, and do his thing if he's alive at all. He's not going to be out here creating laws with Sabo. You need a dragon for that.
No. What I'm saying is you don't have to have Luffy be this, oh, I'm just going to beat the bad guy up character every single time, because it's been done to death. That character already exists. Their name is Goku.
But here's the thing. Like, when it comes to Luffy, though, Luffy is going to stop at nothing. One, to get freedom. Two, stop anybody that's opposing his freedom. He doesn't need
Luffy
to.
doesn't even know he exists. He doesn't even know he doesn't even know what they are. As far as Luffy is aware, a bunch of monster people turned up to try and attack Vegapunk. Luffy has no idea.
I don't think he needs to know they exist.
Exactly.
That's fine. I understand. I'm just saying I personally don't like the idea of every problem being solved by a useful idiot. Like that does nothing to the story overall. It's like, oh, why is the world the way it is? Well, once upon a time, there was a guy that bounced around a bit and then punched a few people in the face.
But that's the whole thing of like if you have Luffy be ignorant to all these things, then he's just doing them per his own will. Like that's his whole thing is like
No, that's not right. No, that's not right. So, okay, tell me a single situation Luffy has got himself into where he is not doing it on behalf of a friend, or he's doing it because he wants to. There are none.
This nonsense Loki bullshit that we're going through right now.
Right, but again, why did he go to Elbaf? To help Vegapunk. He didn't go to Elbaf because he wanted specifically to go there. They were, remember, Luffy and that...
He definitely went to Elbaf because
you misunderstand me. What I'm saying is, after they left Egghead, they didn't say, let's go to Elbaf. Dory and Broggy said, we're taking you to Elbaf.
Yeah, but it's Luffy. As soon as Elbaf came up, they was going to Elbaf.
No, that's fine. No, wanting to go there and making a decision to go there aren't the same thing.
Well, I mean, they also, I mean, they do that all the time though. Like, sure, yeah, he does things on behalf of his friends, but it's also like things that he wants to do. Like he stands on business when it comes to the people he cares about, and that's one of the reasons why it's all per his will. If he didn't want to do something, like if Crocodile was like gonna destroy everything in Alabasta, and they were, Zoro just ran through all the Baroque works, and they were talking to Vivi, and she was like, hey, I'm a princess, and he didn't want to do it, he would have been like, all right, man, that sucks, all right, see you later, and then he would have went off.
But that's somebody asking him to do so. I mean, proactively. What is a proactive decision that Luffy has made in the story that has resulted in freedom for anyone?
Punching people in the face. But I get you. You're saying he did all those things on behalf of someone else.
Yeah. Why did he punch Saint whatever name is the Celestial Dragon? Because of Hachi. He does these things on other people's behalves, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you're saying like, oh, Luffy is this unstoppable force of freedom. No, because if it was true freedom, then you would have to argue that if Luffy would have met what's that? Orochi. If Luffy would have met Orochi instead of Momonosuke, and Orochi would have told him the story of, I was hunted because of my blood, these people, they hunted me just because of who I was and who my parents were, Luffy would have helped Orochi, right?
Luffy's still a judge of character. He could.
No. I'm saying the young version. I'm saying the young version of Orochi, right? If Luffy would have met that version of Orochi before he gets talked to by the witch and the old man with the guitar and that, if Luffy would have met that person, Luffy would have helped them overthrow the Kozuki, correct?
Wasn't he already stealing from Odin? Even before that?
No. He was no. So he was being hunted by the Kozuki because they were trying to wipe out the last of his line.
Yeah, but I mean, before he even met the witch, Orochi was working in the castle and ended up stealing.
That's after, because he lies about his heritage. That's way later, because they tell him to lie about who he does. That's how he got the job in the castle.
Here's the thing, though. If Luffy would have done that, say he would have met Orochi, that also
would have been the right thing to do.
If Orochi actually was like, yeah, they're just hunting me down for my name, and was actually pure in his intentions, then sure.
Yeah, right, okay, so that would have meant that it would have been Luffy against Odin, right?
Yeah. I mean, if he was
he
still,
would have been alive. Sense, though, does it?
I don't know that we can.
It's not all freedom, is it? It's not all about freedom. Then is my point.
But here's the thing.
But hold on. Luffy's free to make that decision himself at all times. If he likes what he's hearing from Orochi, cool. I don't think that Orochi's sob story is going to lock Luffy into any sort of action. It's going to be
it's exactly the same story as Kinemon and Momonosuke. It's their being.
But the difference is Kinemon and Momonosuke aren't pieces of shit.
Orochi wasn't back then. Back then, Orochi
he
wasn't
always
either.
was. He always was.
No, right. Go back and reread it. The only thing he was guilty of.
The story of One Piece tells you that there are innate good and innate evil people in this world. It just does. Orochi is an innate. It does. Put it this way. Doflamingo and Corazon both live the same story. One of them was innately evil. One of them was innately good.
Oh, so you just said that it's not about people that are innately evil. You mean it?
No, I said it is. I said it is.
I said it isn't. Apologies.
No, I'm saying it is.
I completely agree.
Yeah, Orochi got this version of the story.
Then tell me what he did was evil before he was influenced by the witch. Find it for me because it doesn't.
But I
promise you, it doesn't exist.
In my mind, I thought he was stealing prior. But I can
No. He stole a loaf of bread to feed himself because he was on the run. He was being hunted by the Kozuki army.
Listen, here's the thing. People make certain decisions in the story that result in them doing that. If Luffy would have gotten to them before they would have made said decisions, then they probably wouldn't have turned out as shitty as they do, right? So if Luffy would have heard Orochi's sob story and went and confronted, and Oden's not this unreasonable character, and if Orochi never did fucking slimy, grimy shit that he did, then honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing, the what if possibility of Orochi and Luffy, let's just say in this scenario, going to Oden and being like, hey, are you the one who's targeting him per this? And them have it out. But then at the end, they come to realize like, yeah, it's not right to go after someone just because they're related. Like, again, it'll go back to that Robin, like it's not a crime to be born. You didn't choose your last name. You didn't choose who you were born to. And then Orochi, but that's changing Orochi's whole character. And that's my point. I'm saying that you're acting as if Luffy is making these decisions because they are the best decisions. Luffy is making these decisions because the person at that time is telling him it's the best decision. I don't believe that. He's only making the decision based upon his moral compass. He's looking at the situation and determining this person is trustworthy and this person to me is good. And I can tell they're good because he has that ability and people flock to him.
Okay, were the Kozuki good then?
Some of them.
Right. So he's helping some good people, not all.
I mean, he can't help all, but
what I'm saying is you're acting as if every decision Luffy has ever made has been correct and it's been about freedom. Then why does Luffy reinstate monarchies, which are the complete opposite of freedom?
I don't think that every decision Luffy has made is correct. But what I'm saying is almost every time when he's chosen to help someone for what he believes to be, the right decision, he's done so because
so what decisions has Luffy turned down? That's fine. Then what decisions has Luffy said no to? Who has he refused to help?
That's a good question.
Loki refused to help Momonosuke until Momonosuke said that he was going to do some shit himself.
No. Luffy wanted Momo to say it first. Luffy was trying to encourage Momo. He wouldn't have actually said, "You're on your own," then, would he? He would have just left. He wanted Momo to say it. He was saying that he was encouraging Bibi by punching her in the face.
But that's my point. But he still put that in there, like.
I know, but that doesn't answer my question. No, I know that, but you're not answering. I said, give me a time where Luffy has been presented with a decision that could have gone wrong, and he's chosen. It's never happened. Every decision Luffy has ever been given has been the right decision. He's never been put in a situation where he might make a mistake.
That's not true. Impel down.
What do you mean? What was the bad decision of Impel down?
Letting all the prisoners out?
We might be freeing hundreds of rapists and murderers right now, but I don't care. My brother's on the chopping block.
No. Luffy wasn't making that decision. That was being done by. No, hang on. That was done by Buggy and by Ivankov. Luffy was just there. Luffy didn't say set them all free. Luffy didn't even want to let Crocodile free. Ivankov had to convince him.
But he would have.
No, he wouldn't. You can't prove that.
Bro, he set Crocodile free just because it made it.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
He made that decision. Ivankov asked.
No, he didn't. No, reread it.
Ivankov asked Luffy, "Are you down? Freeing him will help us." He went, "Sure." I don't.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't. Ivankov has to say, "I can keep him in line."
He still said yes, though, broker. Just because somebody gave you more information doesn't mean you didn't make a risky decision when you made the decision. Luffy could have still been like, "No, this guy is evil. I seen what he's about."
Oh no,
he still said, "Nah, free him."
Right, but the decision still went the right way. It still ended in his favor. So it was the right decision. I said, well, it's the wrong decision. You still haven't given me one. Luffy is infallible. He's never made a mistake in his entire fucking life. Should we should we punch the Sababi? But even that ended in his favor because they all said upgrades.
Well,
if
that's the case, then I think
he's not infallible. Show me where
what
he
I'm
went
saying
wrong.
is you're contextualizing this in a way that only the results are what matter. Using that as a Luffy's infallible. We both know he's not infallible.
Okay, I'll rephrase then. So far, every decision Luffy has made has turned out to be the right decision. So at the moment, he is infallible. He has never made a mistake. He won't make a mistake in the future.
But hold on. That only is correct if you're using the how do I phrase this? This way, you mentioned him punching the Celestial Dragon.
Right.
You can only acknowledge that that's the right decision because it worked out because of factors that had absolutely nothing to do with etc. That's not the right decision. You know what I'm saying? Punching that Celestial Dragon is not the right decision.
Again, I will rephrase again. I do not mean Luffy has known it will be the right decision. I mean, Oda has written it so that it was always the right decision.
But
that's
think
an example that I just used.
But again, when did Oda write
it and Luffy made the wrong decision?
Punching the Celestial Dragon was the wrong decision.
No, it wasn't. It was the right decision.
No, it was the wrong decision. Look what happened to the crew immediately after.
Right. No. Okay. Would the crew have survived the New World if not for the event of time? No. So it was the right decision. Wait. Tell me how Luffy going into the New World without the 2-year time skip. Tell me what they survived. Did they survive Punch Hazard? No. They wouldn't be able to touch Caesar Clown. Just he chokes them all to death and they all die. Exactly.
I think you're arguing.
So go ahead, Taku.
I think you're arguing against narrative. Like, of course, it's the right decision. That's how Oda writes it. Like, would they have survived?
That's what I don't like.
You don't like narrative?
That's what I don't like. No, I don't like it when a character is protected from morality.
But that's every shonen. Like that's every anime.
Even Dragon Ball did it okay with Piccolo, with Frieza. Making the decisions for these people to come back. Do you honestly? Okay, here's my question. Right, so are you up to date with like Dragon Ball Super, etc., that sort of thing?
I probably haven't read the last chapter, but I mean,
yeah. So, okay, my question is: since Frieza came back to life, do you think he has killed anyone as part of the Frieza Force? Right.
Okay, so yes, he did, but it actually ended up helping Goku. He only killed Gas, which would literally save Goku.
I mean innocent civilians. Like when, as part of the Frieza Force, they've been going around conquering planets. That's happening at the moment.
Yeah.
So what you think he's doing that passively as he killed people?
I mean, probably.
So at the very least, it's morally ambiguous, correct?
Sure.
Right, then tell me the morally ambiguous side of Luffy's conclusions. There are none. That's what I'm saying. Again, this is only a personal thing that I don't like. You can like it if you like. If you want your character to be this higher than a good and never make a mistake, everything always goes their way, that's fine. But technically, that's called a Mary Sue.
I mean, I guess you're right, but
I
would,
exactly.
to me,
That's all I don't like.
I
That's-
agree with Sebastian though. There are other times
okay.
where Luffy does things that end up resulting, like the Impel Down thing is a big one.
Tell me.
The even Marineford, I mean, was it for the best of people like Fishman Island and these other places who lost Whitebeard, you know, because
that wasn't because of Luffy. In fact, it would have gone completely the other way if not for Luffy. If Luffy wouldn't have arrived at Deus Ex Machina, literally falling from the sky to help everyone, then everyone would have died much sooner. Like, they didn't even know that the execution had been brought forward before Luffy told them. So everyone would have died. Everybody.
But
they didn't know the trap. Luffy tells them.
There is also the possibility that Whitebeard would have seen Ace get executed and they would have retreated. Like, there's just as much of an opportunity as that.
Question. Okay, here's my question then. Are you honestly going to tell me here now that you think that if Ace would have been executed publicly, Whitebeard would have just said to his crew, let's leave? Not a chance. Not a chance. Because what happened after Ace was executed? Whitebeard stayed. The rest of the pirates stayed. They didn't leave. They only left because Shanks turned up. Again, it's okay if you like perfect characters. I don't. I just don't. I don't like perfect narrative.
Luffy not perfect, bro. He's not a very...
Okay, so do me a favor. Bring up the definition, of a Mary Sue on Google and tell me which bits don't apply to Luffy. Because the majority does.
Hold on. Mary Sue is a fictional character who is portrayed as having no flaws or weaknesses and is often considered unrealistically capable.
Okay.
Luffy has multiple flaws. Like,
why
stupid. He's dumb.
Right, okay,
like, that's his biggest flaw.
Okay, right. And how many times has it ended in something negative happening? Never.
But it's portrayed as such. The definition is, how is this character portrayed?
Yeah.
Luffy is portrayed as stupid.
Right, okay.
Listen,
you can have a Mary Sue that has negative character traits, but only ones that don't end in something miraculous happening. Right? Read one of the lines there. It will say that every character automatically likes them. Luffy. Right, even you can't argue that there is a lot there that leans towards Mary Sue, right? There just is.
And that's okay. I could go into gluttony. I could go into so much for Luffy as far as
gluttony. But Luffy has never eaten food at the expense of someone else not being able to eat.
Here's the thing, though. So as a whole, though, the thing that happened at Marineford is, so if you take the Marines as a whole, right, and you can, dissect and whether or not they are good, whether or not they're bad, whatever. But odds are, I mean, there are Kobes out here, right? There's Kobes, there's good Marines.
Yeah.
But Luffy wasn't discriminating, right? And he, at Marineford, was a huge part of weakening the Navy. They immediately lost their headquarters. They lost so many Marines. But here's the thing: him doing that causes other Marines these Marines to not be where they need to be to stop pirates that are pillaging right now. So it is to the detriment of other people in the story that we don't get to see highlighted.
Then you have to show evidence of it. You have to show evidence of it, is my point. You have to be able to show evidence. You can't just say, oh, it probably happens out there and it's because of Luffy. Because it's not only because of Luffy, it's also because of the Whitebeard pirates. It's also because of Hancock, all these sort of things.
But Broker, would you not say that a majority of Blackbeard's come-ups are a direct result of decisions Luffy has made?
I was gonna say that
And
too.
Blackbeard's
Okay,
definitely
so,
not
for example,
positively impacting the world.
no, for example, as in which bits, because there's lots. Be specific.
I mean,
Impel down.
even just
Impel
impel down.
Generally,
Say,
yeah,
Okay. No. Impel down happens regardless. That happens because of Shiryu. It has nothing to do with Luffy at that point.
but Shiryu could have
Oh,
gotten
hold
bodied
on.
by Magellan.
Yeah, if
What?
Luffy's not there and Magellan
Black-
bodies Blackbeard, he could then turn around. Shiryu doesn't even get freed if Luffy's not there. He's just
Yeah.
locked in prison. Like Luffy being there and being a distraction for Magellan caused him to go, okay, let me go free Shiryu to deal with Blackbeard, which gave Blackbeard access to an antidote that he would otherwise not have had. So if Luffy's not there, Blackbeard tries to go to Impel Down during the war. Just doesn't work. He fights Magellan, he loses, and that's it. And now there isn't a Yonko that's evil as hell out there dominating 25% of the New World. So, like, if you want to go, like, you can go down so many different avenues.
You've named one. You said this means you've named one. One.
I'm saying I could go down several avenues now. So, like,
Then tell me them.
Crocodile is another one. He's out here having Marines attacked as a grand scheme of the Cross Guild. That is a direct result of Luffy agreeing to fight him at Impel Down.
Right, listen. He got freed predominantly because of Ivankov. Ivankov
It
wouldn't
was
have
Luffy's decision, though. But Ivankov left it up to Luffy. Period. It was Luffy's decision.
Okay.
Ivankov said, Luffy, what do you want to do?
As you just said yourself, that is the one occasion where you can say that Luffy was thinking selfishly. Right? One.
But you said he's infallible, that he's incapable of selfish thinking, that he's
No,
automatically going to put the well-being of the world over his own.
That's what it means. It doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean that he's infallible. It means that things they do influence the world in a more positive way than negative.
He's going to try to do those things, but he's still human. He still makes mistakes. These are those mistakes.
Okay, so right. At the moment, Crocodile has never been shown to be doing something out there that negative. Not really.
Crossbow put bounty on Marines' heads, causing disturbance throughout the world right now.
Right. Marines Marines are working for an organization that literally nukes islands. What's your point? They're not moral absolutes. Luffy would have to be against a morally absolute character.
Okay, but have innocent Marines been murdered or not as a direct result of Crocodile's decision making?
T-Bone was literally helping an old man or whatever and got murked.
Salt of the earth T-Bone is gone today. He might not be. That could still be capped.
I was going to say. So right, let's be honest. So this leans into narrative. I would argue nobody's dead because Oda doesn't kill people. But nobody's actually died.
Hey, man.
Do you see what I mean, though? And again, it's when you have a moral paragon. I don't like moral paragon characters. If you do, that's okay. I do.
Big Luffy, man.
Again, that's fine. Just I find morally ambiguous characters more interesting to read about.
Mm-hmm.
I feel you, don't get me wrong, but I think that in this case, I think that this is a slight bit different, if you will. I think that Luffy being more, I don't know. I like that Luffy does things.
Luffy is not morally ambiguous, not at all.
He's still a pirate. He's still down to do pirate things. He is.
Excellent. Okay, tell me how to piracy he's committed. Go on.
Didn't he steal that treasure from Skypiea? That was
no. Literally, in the next panel, they said they were getting ready to give it to them.
Yeah, but hold on. Luffy didn't know that. He didn't know that. That's making it so that it's okay.
No, exactly. No one was harmed. Right, and nobody was harmed, is my point.
That's not fair.
It is there. Okay, fine. Then name another one. Go on.
Giants right now.
There aren't any. There isn't. Luffy
He's
is
trying to steal from Giants right now.
no. Luffy isn't an actual pirate. He just isn't. He's in a
man.
world of pirates, but he's not a real pirate. He's a guy that goes around, has fun, and sets kingdoms free, and then puts monarchs in their place.
I mean, if in our world, monarchs aren't great, right? But like in
Actually,
that
no,
world,
there are way worse monarchs in the One Piece world. Way worse.
but like I just think that it's a little different. But I feel you. I understand what you're saying.
Like I said, this is why I'm so desperate for my Hajrudin theory to be right, because it would be a time where Luffy got something wrong. He let someone join without doing like the most basic like background checks. But all Luffy knows that it's someone in his organization, his Grand Fleet, that is sending information about him to the world government. Do you see what I mean? It would be so refreshing for One Piece. It just would. It's like, Luffy, because Robin warns him, if you make alliances with pirates, they will always end in betrayal. Why? What's the point in making Oda have Robin say that if it goes nowhere? You know what Chekhov's gun is, right, in writing, yeah? Yeah, that's what it is. That statement is Chekhov's gun.
It doesn't necessarily have to be Chekhov's gun for Luffy, though.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was for Kid and Hawkins and Apu.
Right, but again, it's never happened to Luffy.
To Broker's point, it would work better if Luffy's the one.
Yeah, way better. I mean, I'm not saying people have to die because of his mistake, because that's not the way Oda writes, and that's fine. I'm saying just something bad happen.
I mean, just look at Tanjiro. And Tanjiro.
Yeah.
Tanjiro, he had him on his ship for how long? And Luffy didn't clock that he was an evil person. And look what happened. Kiku lost an arm, Ashura Doji's dead, and everything else.
Right, but that was the downfall of the Kazukis. It was nothing really to do with Luffy. Like nothing. There was no negative thing that has long-term negative effects on Luffy's life.
Pedro dead, man.
Yeah, and I know.
Yeah, but again, no, Pedro sacrificed himself. It wasn't because of a decision that Luffy made wrong.
Luffy said, "We going to whole cake to get Sanji back, man." Zoro said, "Chill out on that."
Right, and
Pedro dead.
Right, again, but Pedro has nothing really to do with Luffy's overall thing.
Now you scaling whether people care about people. Luffy mentioned Pedro and Wano, man.
Yeah,
it hurt him on some level.
Yeah, right. He mentioned Pedro because he's one of the 4 people in One Piece to actually die. And I'm still waiting for Pedro to come back with no eyes and a Vulcan snake.
Hey, man.
Listen.
Pell survived a nuclear bomb to the face.
It had some level of impact on Luffy. He mentioned Pedro.
Right, again, because there's no one else for Luffy to mention. There's no one else out there that's actually had negative things before them. Luffy might as well have mentioned what was the name of the random person that Zoro supposedly killed? One of the Oakworks agents. Do you know what I mean? It was like Mr. 19 or something ridiculous.
Oh, it was what was it? It was Mr. Damn, who was it? Mr. 7 or something?
Yeah, Mr. Luffy might as well have mentioned his name. Just because it's another dead guy.
Listen.
Minimizing all this tragedy.
Okay, so yes or no, do you think that if my Hajrudin thing was right, would that make Luffy's character more interesting? Of course it would.
No, but only I say no because similar to how you said that it didn't impact Luffy, I don't think Luffy didn't care.
I can answer that. I can answer that.
That wasn't an actual decision he made.
Okay, I can answer that. Right. So Luffy handed out Vibra cards to every single member of the Grand Fleet. That is a GPS tracking system of where he is. That's negative.
But by your results-based grading system here, it hasn't
exactly
well enough.
Well, no, but that's making an argument based on saying that potentially would happen. I'm saying it would also make sense of how the world government has not had to go chasing Luffy because they always know where he is if necessary.
I mean, listen, I hear you. I like Luffy, and I like the way that he does business. he stands on it.
That's okay. I don't, because Luffy has never had a negative consequence to deal with in his entire life.
Can't agree with that.
Yeah.
Then tell me them. Tell me these negative consequences. Then
we've given you examples. You're just saying because of future.
No. I said,
As a result of that,
hang on. I can answer your Blackbeard one. How has Blackbeard's rise affected Luffy negatively? It hasn't.
It
How
captured his grandpa.
It hasn't. Huh?
It
Luffy
got
doesn't care?
I think Luffy cares about Garp. I think once he finds out, he will be pissed.
Okay. Then why isn't Luffy pissed at Garp for letting Ace die?
I think because
what's the difference? Right, what's the difference?
I think the reason why he's not pissed at Garp.
So the 2-year time skip told us that Luffy understood that Ace made his own decisions in life, and that there's nothing Luffy could have done. It's the same with Garp. Garp made his own decisions in life.
That doesn't mean he's not gonna be mad that Blackbeard.
Okay, mad enough. Do you think he's mad enough to do something about it? Will he divert the flu and go after Blackbeard instead? Because if so, some of those Straw Hats are dying. Even if they defeat the Blackbeard pirates, not everyone's coming away from that alive. Therefore, that would be a negative decision, wouldn't it?
I don't think that I think that Luffy's on a collision course with Blackbeard regardless, right?
Oh, so do I. But not yet.
But I don't think that he's going to he doesn't read the news. He leaves that up to Robin. So he wouldn't find out about it anyways. But and he's kind of on a secluded island. Well, they're on a secluded island currently. They even said, we don't even really get news like that.
Oh, no, I'm talking about when he does find out. I mean, when he does find out, what will he do in your mind?
I mean, personally...
I can honestly see it going either way.
Yeah, it really could. It's 50-50 for me. Either he spins the block heavy...
Feeling sad about something isn't the same as it impacting the story negatively. Negative consequences don't lead to more negative consequences. It would need to lead to something bad happening to the Straw Hats. If Luffy then went after Blackbeard, like you say, and some of the Straw Hats died, that would be a bad decision by Luffy that had long-term negative consequences for him. I'd be with you with that, but that's not what he's going to do.
Here's the thing: we're so many steps removed from that already.
One step removed. Luffy finds out and goes after Blackbeard. That's one step.
No, but I was talking about the original, because you said, how do I say this?
So
how has Blackbeard negatively currently?
Yes. So, but even if Garp dies, that doesn't affect Luffy's story negatively, does it?
It can affect.
Will Luffy stop being a pirate because Garp dies? No. Then his story continues.
You don't have to go to those extremes to be affected negatively by something.
Yeah, I agree.
Right, but again, that isn't that right. So if I'm going one step beyond, then why are you going 2 or 3 steps beyond with Luffy going to Impel Down because he went to Impel Down his wife was freed and that's why he became a Yamato?
Hold on. What I'm saying is Garp dying is a negative thing for Luffy. That's not you can't chalk it up to a positive. Anyway,
I didn't say it's a positive. I just said it doesn't affect his journey negatively.
But it can still affect him negatively.
I didn't say but Luffy has been upset by things he reads in the paper and stuff like that. Negative things. That's fine. Characters can have negative things affect them. Like when he thought his bounty had gone down, he thought it negatively affected him. He cried about it. I'm saying the journey. How does it impact his story negatively? I'm saying it doesn't.
Joker, when we brought up examples of the story being impacted, you said
his story. His story, I said.
Hold on, Luffy and the Straw Hat story. When we brought up examples of that with Sabaody Archipelago and the admirals running down on them, you went, okay, now that was a positive because ultimately they would have
I just thought of something. Wait a minute. I just thought of something. Because Luffy, because of the Blackbeard thing that happened to Luffy, right? Yeah? That was the only reason the Whitebeard pirates were able to escape with Luffy, because of the destruction that Blackbeard made. If Blackbeard doesn't arrive at Marineford, they die.
I mean, it sounds to me like, I mean, every story that if every story ends in a positive note, I'm like, there are plenty of stories that end like, oh, there's no resolution or whatever, but almost every single story ends on a positive note. Like, even though, let's just say,
not in what I read.
Well, you must be reading something dark.
Again, again, this isn't an attack. I'm just saying, would you say you read more manga or novels?
Manga.
Not close.
Right, okay, yeah, I think that's going to be a big difference between the two. I read, I try and go through a new novel once a week, minimum. And again, not everyone always survives. Not every character always comes out ahead and stuff like that. Just to give an example that most people will understand, right? Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones is not a story about happy endings. It's not a story about infallible characters that never make massive mistakes. Robb Stark is the best example. Robb Stark makes all the right decisions. Everything goes his way. Then he starts thinking with his dick. Then he gets his bucket. Him, his mother, millions of people die. It doesn't just affect him. It affects his story negatively en masse. Right? Those are examples of fallible characters. I mean, most people who started reading Game of Thrones, would have said that Robb Stark is the main character, right?
Yeah, up until that point where he gets beheaded.
No, he doesn't get beheaded. He sort of after his death. Ned gets beheaded. Robb sort of does as well after he's dead. They chop his head off and replace it with a wolf.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, again, that's just what I'm used to reading. And again, I'm not having a go at manga for it. I'm saying that I wish that because Oda has such good world building skills, I want to see the world impacted as if it were a real world, as if real things were happening with real consequences. But again, that's a personal thing. I have no problem with people that want to read One Piece because it reminds them of Dragon Ball Z. That's okay. I have no problem with that. It's a personal preference. Like Seb, you know how much I hate Marineford.
We'll never agree on that one, man.
I'm saying
exactly. Agree on that one.
But it's not about agreeing. It's about two people's views of how somebody likes to read. That's all it is. It's a change of viewpoints. Like, so for example, do you two actually like the idea of Shanks having an evil twin?
No.
Me neither. So therefore, you're saying that it's a negative consequence of Oda's writing, right?
No, I don't think it's a negative consequence. That's the difference. I don't favor, how do I say this? Just because I don't like something doesn't mean I view it as negative or bad.
Okay, negative to you.
I gotta see how it plays out. That's where I'm at. I'm willing to give him that grace to see how the story plays.
That's fine. Okay, that's fine. Would you have
reaction? I didn't care for it.
No, you don't exactly. So, would you rather have just if someone said to you, you can either see how it plays out, or we'll do a completely different storyline with a completely different character? What would you have chose?
Completely different story, completely different character.
Same here.
Currently, we could be 50 or 60 or 150 chapters later, and we go, okay, Shamrock is one of the best decisions Oda's ever made.
Well, okay, that's not done yet. But like you said, you would still make a different decision.
Right now.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm going to say in 150 chapters.
But you should never there should never be such faith in an author that you say that nothing they do has ever... Sorry, can you give an example of a bad decision that so far in the story Oda has made?
I still don't think Pell should be alive. I still think Sabo should have came back.
I think Sabo shouldn't have been a character at all, really.
Well, I was fine with Sabo's character existing and dying.
As a child, you mean? That's fine. That's fine. Yeah, me too. So the thing I didn't like about Sabo, and you can't really blame Oda for it because it was done by his editing team. So like he had to make such massive arguments for Ace to die because at that point when Ace was being written, he was the fourth most marketable character financially. Chopper, Ace, Chopper, Luffy, Zoro, Ace were the top four. In terms of the amount of money they make the company. Because you used to be like Chopper merch, right? There's Chopper merch everywhere. It's the same with Ace. It was just a really marketable character. So what they do, basically, Sabo is just Ace with a top hat and a stick. That's what Sabo is.
Listen, I think that, in all honesty, I'm fine with the Shamrock thing, but I do have a lot of faith in Oda to make it make sense for me.
That's okay.
Everything
That's okay.
that he's done up until this point, besides for like Pell and a few small things that really don't make too much of a difference to me, he's made make sense.
Sabo? What about Sabo? Do you think Sabo was a good decision?
I do, and the reason why I think he was a good decision was this show is all about inheriting wills, and I felt like Ace left a lot on the table in which he needed to still fulfill. And the reason I even became a content.
Ace. But Sabo isn't Ace.
Yeah, but here's the thing: like
he's not inheriting anything.
Luffy's not Roger, but he's still inheriting the will. Like that's the whole point of the show is inheriting wills. Like
okay, but Luffy wasn't a character that mysteriously had amnesia until one day, so he all his memories.
Listen, the amnesia thing is not too great, but
it's made sense. So there are bad things.
Yeah, there are bad things.
And amnesia, Sabo's amnesia isn't a little thing. It's a big thing. It's his whole character. Why didn't this character turn up to do things? Why didn't Rayleigh go and try and help save Ace? So if Law can get there, they were both in the same place, right, watching the same news broadcast. If Law can get there and Deus Ex Machina go and save Luffy, we still have no idea why he actually did it. None. Then why couldn't Rayleigh get there? Rayleigh was able to swim through the calm belt, right? In 4 days he got there? Because it was a day after it took Luffy to arrive. So that's 4 days. So then why couldn't Rayleigh? Why didn't Rayleigh go? And it's fine to say, oh, I'm not going to moan about it because one day, 100, 200 chapters, Agent might make it make sense. That's cope. Bad decisions are bad decisions. Just because you might be tied up in a neat bit at the end doesn't mean it was a good decision in the first place.
Wait, are you saying that Rayleigh not showing up is a bad decision by Oda?
Make it make sense. Okay, so Rayleigh, yeah.
To me, Rayleigh showing up would have been complete dog shit.
No, it should have been. It could have been I can make it make sense. Rayleigh would have just put all it first. So Ace still dies, Whitebeard still dies, and instead of it being Shanks that shows up out of the blue, it's Rayleigh. Exactly the same thing happens. It's just Rayleigh. Nothing else changes, but instead of Shanks showing up, Rayleigh does. Because then he's a pirate that makes sense. That makes more sense.
Listen, I'll take Shanks Glaze any chance that I can get.
It's not just Glaze. Yeah. Rayleigh's a retired pirate who's out of the game. He's not involved in any of this. Shanks has actively been trying to keep the peace of the world. Shanks has a reason to. No. Rayleigh's only connection to any of this.
Where have you got that from? When has it been stated that Shanks is trying to keep the peace in the world?
Wow. Almost every action Shanks has taken in the series has been to incite peace. He went to Whitebeard to preventing Kaido from even getting to the war at all. Going to Whitebeard to try to get him to take Blackbeard seriously.
Right. How did Shanks get back? How do you mean? Remember, he was in the New World fighting Kaido that same day. How did he get all the way back to Marineford?
I don't know.
Right, exactly.
Hold on. We don't know where in the New World he was fighting Kaido. We don't know what abilities that Shanks has to allow him to fast travel. We don't know any of that. We just know that he went, what Kaido's doing, can't allow that, gotta stop it. What the Marines are doing and Blackbeard Pirates, etc., are doing right now, can't allow that, gotta stop that too.
Okay. What do you think Kaido was going to Marineford then? What do you think Kaido's plan was?
Cause chaos. Probably die in the war.
How do you know he wasn't going there to save Ace?
To save Ace?
Yeah, how do you know he wasn't? You don't. It's like, no one does.
There's nothing in his character that would imply that.
I agree.
Okay. Then apart from that one time where you're saying that Shanks was keeping the peace, Shanks saying to Whitebeard, don't send Ace, wasn't about keeping the peace. It was don't let somebody die because you don't know how strong the person is.
It's not keeping the peace. It's not going to keep somebody alive.
What about his character introduction with Haguma? That's
What,
not keeping
the
the
bandit?
peace. Yeah, is that not keeping
Right,
the
okay.
peace?
Why was he there in the first place?
But that's it. But hold on, that is you're going into different things. I'm
No,
talking
no,
about
saving
actions
the
that
day. Saving the day isn't keeping the
not
peace.
saving the day, not saving the day. I'm talking about the actions that Shanks has taken throughout his series.
He saved the day. Yeah, he saved the day with the peace.
Before that, I'm talking about his original introduction, where Haguma knocked the thing and spit at him, all that stuff. He went, I'm gonna not do anything so that we don't set it off in this bar right now.
Sorry, I misunderstood. I thought you meant like keeping the peace between the Marines and the pirates.
No, I'm saying.
Oh,
in
sorry,
general,
I misunderstood.
He's keeping peace, like that's what he do.
Okay, right,
And
that's
I would
fine.
say in most cases, like how you're introduced is what your character is about, or
okay,
and that was his introduction. Right?
But
like,
again, that doesn't explain his presence at Marineford.
Because if he allowed the war to continue to this degree, there's going to be a situation where the Marines could get overthrown. They could be overrun, or way more.
No, not at that point. Then the Whitebeard pirates were being massacred at that point. They'd already lost.
Yeah, and
when Shanks shows up, Whitebeard's dead, Ace is dead. Josu's arms frozen off.
But you're hold on. We don't know when Shanks left or what knowledge he had at the time that he started to get there.
There you go. Then you can't presume it.
No, but what I'm saying, him going there is still to stop things.
Right. No. We don't know that.
Hold on, Broker. It says, I've come to end this war. Whether in his mind,
it doesn't say why.
Alive when he departed.
It doesn't say why.
But it doesn't matter.
It doesn't say why. But it doesn't say what. Okay.
Hold on. No. What does ending a war mean?
Okay.
What are you doing? What action are you taking when you end a war?
I'm going to answer that, okay? So if Shanks would have been showing up so that no more Marines would die, not about saving Whitebeard pirates, just about saving Marines, it stops the war, is that a good decision for Shanks?
We don't even know enough about his character to say.
Exactly. That's my point. We don't know yet.
But we still can imply. We can still infer, based off the actions he has taken on panel, that he is about more peace over war.
But also, on top of that, it's like there's more evidence to suggest that he was there to actually keep the peace than there is contrary to him doing that for opposite reasons, right?
Like what?
Like the way that his introduction was, the way that every time he's looking for more peace, and that's why it took us so long to even see anything from him, because he's more of a pacifist.
Then why does he kill people? Why did he allow Lucky Roo to kill a bandit who he could have knocked out with Conqueror's Haki like it was nothing? Or just knocked unconscious with his bare hand. With a pinky, he could have done it. But he shoots him in the head. That's keeping the peace, is it? No. What about the bandit who got eaten by the Sea King? Could have saved him as well. Didn't. What about the kid? Kid's dead now.
Pirate, right? He's not a hero.
Okay. So then my point is, then it's not about keeping the peace. It's about doing what benefits him in the moment. Just because peace might be the consequence doesn't mean it was the intent.
So can you explain what the benefit for Shanks personally in the moment was to go to Marineford?
No, I'm saying you don't know, neither do I, is my point. I'm saying neither of us know, so we can't extrapolate.
I think we can infer more than we can.
Direction than yours.
Yeah.
No. Okay, there's a difference between an implication and an inference, okay? So the fact that Sengoku says he'll allow it because it's him infers the fact that he's more allied with them than the Whitebeard pirates. That's an inference. An implication would be if he said it outright.
But I'm even still, like
there are more implications of Shanks choosing death as the consequence than there are of Shanks choosing peace.
Well, even still, someone in the chat said it well. He told Kobe that he did a good job pausing the war because it stopped the killing. And then on top of that, he was totally fine with Lucky Roo popping that dude in the face because he said it best himself. You know, hey, this is a tool of war. If you're ready to use it, you got to be ready to die as well. You know,
that's fine.
And on top of Hagumo, he said, "I don't care if you spit on me or whatever, but when you hurt one of my friends, it's game on." And what did he do?
Right.
He hurt
Would
Luffy.
Luffy do the same thing? Right. Would Luffy do the same thing in Shanks' case? Would he kill someone? Would he allow Zoro to kill someone? Yes or no?
I believe so. Yeah.
I believe so,
That's
but
that's
even
madness. That's madness. Then why have not one single Straw Hat killed a single character in the story so far? Plenty of them have threatened their crews and their friends' lives.
They haven't been in
Nobody's
the exact
dead.
situation.
Nobody's dead.
I also
What do you
don't.
mean?
I also
Hang on,
think
hold on.
they're two very different characters.
Oh, hold
I know,
on.
I'm saying one is
You're saying
mildly
Zoro
superior
hasn't
to the
killed
other.
anybody throughout the entirety of the series with all the
Show me the dead body. Show me the dead body.
Oda ain't gonna draw that.
Look, we didn't even see
Right,
that dead body.
Exactly.
We don't even know that Haguma's guy is dead.
Yeah, he's probably
He
in
got
that seeking.
He got eaten by a big ass
No,
seeking.
not him. The dude who got shot in the head. We don't even have confirmation that guy is dead.
Okay, right, okay. Now
That
we're
is very
both getting
true.
silly. Okay.
I'm just saying. I'm
Okay,
just
right.
saying. But yo,
Then
guys,
it-
I
then
do
it-
have
then it-
a hard stop at 5, and it's
No, that's fine. That's all good. It's all
Okay.
good. It's all good.
All right, but before you go, I just want to get your chapter rating. So, 1 out of 10.
Oh
Ooh.
man. Well, 1, this was a lot of fun. So the reading together experience is very different. I wanted
Yeah.
to like skip ahead so many times. I was
Yeah,
like,
I know. Yeah.
overall, I thought the beginning of the chapter was pretty cool with Gunko
Yeah.
and Shamrock dealing with Loki. I thought the Cerberus reveal was pretty cool. I thought that fighting style. I thought they were gonna start fighting together, like you were saying before
Yeah.
the pod. Broker, I thought that would have been really dope. Uncle's abilities are really interesting to me, man. I'm really curious as to where he's going with that. Loki's not dead, obviously. This is One Piece.
Of course.
I'm really excited to see who this third God's Knight is going to be. I'm
Do you
definitely
think
thinking
because of the way? Do you think because of the way it was worded, it's going to be someone we've seen before?
No, I think it's going to be a new
Okay.
character.
It's-
I definitely think that's Gabon right now.
Yeah,
Just
same.
based on the framing of what Luffy had said. But the whole thing leading up to that giant mural at the end was really, really, really great. I love that it was Frankie that saw it and how. Because I think he, more so than many other Straw Hats, has a huge responsibility in regards to the creation of Pluton potentially. And
Yeah.
it's important that he sees like what was going down back in the day. Even if he
Project
can't
the
understand
nipples.
what he's You did. Is he doing that?
Yeah,
Is he doing that right now?
Yeah, so when we first saw like picture after the telescope, he has like the torch little lights, yeah. I went, oh, later on in the story, he's gonna have like a photographic memory because he's a cyborg, and he's gonna project the blueprints onto a wall. Absolutely, that's what's gonna happen.
That would be pretty cool. But
I think what's going to happen now is that mural is going to get destroyed. Somebody is going to destroy that mural, and the last person to see it will be Frankie.
That'd be cool. I gotta go back and read what the Harley was exactly. I remember it was an ancient text.
Yeah, I can't remember either.
But the three worlds and the prophecy is very interesting. I'm gonna look at this panel probably 1,000 more times.
Yeah, same here. I'm looking at it now.
And I don't know. I'm excited to try to theorize and theory craft about it. I don't really have anything great right now, other than
No, neither do I.
Kingdoms there, and the Joy Boy.
Do you know who I don't see in that mural though? I don't see Blackbeard anywhere. I'm looking now. I don't see what Blackbeard could be.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. Yeah, I didn't see anything that placed him directly myself.
Yeah, like I kept looking for like shadows or something like that. But yeah,
I will say this is probably one of those where we're really gonna need to work on, like, see the Viz translation. No shade at TCB.
Yeah,
but I think this is some of the
that's what I
text
said.
that's gonna be way too important for us to get like a interpretation. Like we need the official.
Especially of those 1, 2, 3 worlds things.
Yeah.
100%.
But overall,
Tomorrow, isn't it?
I thought it looked beautiful. So shout out to Oda. I know it's hard. It's like it's just dope, man. I want to see it colorized. I think.
Yeah, that's what. So, I just worked out. Do you know how long we will have to wait for the official colorized version of this to happen?
How long?
6 years.
Yeah, no, I'm good. Somebody
Yeah.
get their on it.
Yeah, someone's
Somebody get
gonna.
on it, man.
Yeah, we won't get official colors for a while. So,
Somebody probably got
but
the color already, bro. Somebody got it already somewhere, man.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the fan colorizations are gorgeous.
yeah.
But
But
yeah,
yeah,
I'm
what's
excited, man.
what's your rating?
Rating?
Yeah, number.
I'll give it a 9 out of 10. I was thoroughly intrigued throughout. I was very interested in what I was reading, and that last page had me. I don't know if y'all saw it, but I don't think my jaw dropped.
Yeah,
It definitely had like a, it's been a while since I've been like that eye captured by a single panel. I know it's a double page, but
the only thing I think comes close has got to be Gear 5, right?
yeah, it's been like, it's definitely been some years since I've just stared at a page for this long. Like y'all were talking about it, and I was just like going through every single.
Yeah, so was I. I kept trying to work out each individual bit.
It's just something like even when I think I was on the phone with Mike earlier. He said there's a page in the chapter that even after One Piece is over, people are going to reference back to a lot. And obviously, this is what he was referring to.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's just only Oda could draw something this weird, because it's like a little mini cartoon, but it's like hieroglyphics at the same time.
Especially as the Giants don't even take it that seriously. They still call it graffiti. Do you know what I mean? It's,
right.
Yeah, which we'll have to wait to see if that's how they do it in the official.
Yeah, how removed Giants are from the world, where like, they just don't care about what's going on in the rest of the world.
Okay.
Right.
But yeah, Taku.
Right.
Broker, it's been dope, man. We gotta do this again sometime.
Yeah,
definitely.
I hope y'all know this is just a preview for me, I guess. I'll be going live Monday with the guys. You have to see my instant thoughts. I'll probably jot some more notes down for that. But if y'all haven't already, please like, share, comment, subscribe. Taku's the man. Broker still doesn't have his own channel yet. I've been telling him to do that forever. But
I know.
But yeah, man. This was dope.
Yeah, make sure to tune in on Mondays for Seb and all of the other guys' thoughts on this. Make sure that you're
what a week for
no Larry.
That's so crazy he missed it this week, bro.
Yeah. But what else is really crazy about this chapter is no break next week too. So it's
that's wild.
It's crazy. We're getting like 4 chapters back to back, which is crazy.
There was a tweet by Oda where he apologized for not writing as much as he said he would last year.
Yeah.
So I think that's got to be in reference to this.
Put it this way, I was gonna save this for the TOPT stream, but I got you, Taku. Just think. We finally got the reveal that Shamrock is indeed Shanks' twin, and it's just a cliff note. It's just like a little.
Yeah, no one cares. Exactly, no one cares.
Yeah,
it's just a little note in the chapter. This is crazy.
It's literally like this chapter was like a big fucking middle finger from Oda. Like, oh, by the way, he's got he's a twin. He's got a Cerberus sword, and then boom, I'm gonna drop this heat. Like,
it's crazy, bro.
Yeah, that's crazy. But thank you so much for showing up, Seb. Really appreciate it. We will have to do this again. We'll have to theory craft and get into another chapter. So hopefully who knows, maybe we can get Larry once he gets back, and we can all sit down. But yeah, thank you guys so much. Thank you, Seb, for coming. I'll get Broker's thoughts right after this, but I know you got to run. So thank you so much for coming on. We got to do it again, and you have a great rest of your day.
You too, man. Broker.
Yep. Much love, Seb. Love you too.
All right, now let me get this one all.
Thank God that guy's gone. Oh.
Yo, people in the chat, Broker, they be flaming you right now.
I can't see the chat. I can't see.
they were like, man, what's this guy talking about?
That's fine. Okay, it's okay. I'm allowed to not like the same stuff other people like.
Yeah, and that's basically what it comes down to. Is just like you like
Exactly.
your stuff the way you like your stuff, you know, and that's super fine in my opinion. Me
Same
personally,
here.
I like the way Luffy is, and I do think there are negative consequences, but I understand what you're saying by, you know, being like, hey, there isn't as many as some people might suggest. So
Well,
I'm cool with it.
as just statistics would suggest.
Yeah. So I like my Luffy the way he is. I like the way that he does business.
Yeah. Again, I would just like him more if every now and again something didn't go his way. Like he made a serious lapse in judgment, a serious error. And like I said, if I'm right and Hajrudin does turn out to be that way, then I will love Luffy way more than I do now.
Me personally, I'm not on the same vibe, but I get what you're
That's cool.
saying. It would be the thing that always gets me though is like I feel like we were set up for so long saying like, oh, he's such a good judge of character, and or like he has people that gravitate towards him because of who he is as a
Yeah.
person. So to me it just makes sense that he wouldn't, you know, he would be a good judge of character straight out the gate. So
But remember, he's not actually being a good judge of character. He's saying yes to anyone that thinks the same way he does and allows them to progress in a conversation or in an action that he doesn't obstruct. That's not the same thing as being a good judge of character. So a good example there, a good judge of character is someone like a judge. Yeah, a judge in a court of law has to be a good judge of character. Luffy would make a terrible judge. A terrible, terrible, terrible judge.
that's true. But I like him all the same. But anyway, let's
So
get
do I. As do I.
let's get your thoughts. What do you
Oh,
think of the chapter?
I would again. I was well on track to giving it like almost like a 10 out of 10 up until the prophecy part. Everything else, I love the way it looks, etc. Just if it would have been slightly more obscure. Like again, maybe when this comes out, it will be like that's a real problem. There's a really high chance of that. Like just even individual changes, like single words being changed, makes it much more murky. And if it's murky, I think it's better because I suppose it's kind of good that nothing's labeled, but some of the ones are so obvious what they are, it makes it pointless to have a label, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. I'm very interested because what we know is that the Void Century happened, they said like 800 to 900 years ago, somewhere in that
Yeah.
time frame. And so what I'm wondering is we heard from the Gorosei
Mhm.
that originally Joy Boy was awakened the fruit, they said like 800 to 900 years ago. Like that fruit hasn't been awakened in 800 years. So is
Yes.
there a time that the fruit was awakened, meaning the second world, where it was awakened and they did not know about it? Like
I think it's before their time. I think that the second world is the 900 years ago one, but the first world is even before their time when they weren't around. Maybe even like Emu wasn't around. Like nobody was. I think.
So you think the first world is like the Nika iteration, the second world is Joy Boy's iteration, and the third world is
exactly,
now Luffy's. Okay.
Yeah, I think but Gorosei are only aware of the second world to now.
So that there's things that I think that are in this that may point to the opposite. And that being the it says like the blah 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 the heart is engulfed in flame, and the hearts of men burn with desire. They reach for the forbidden star. From whispered prayers, the sun god rose, beckoned by enslaved. The god of the land was enraged. With a serpent of fire, they cast the world into ruin. Darkness fell, death reigned. They would not meet again. I think that is them talking about the meeting of Joy Boy and Emu. Like,
See, I thought it was between Nika and Emu.
mm,
I think that what's happened when it says they will not meet is that it means there was no actual conflict, no war happened, there was no battle between the two. Like it never actually came to loggerheads. Something stopped it. One of them died before they could actually meet. So this
okay.
one is actually saying that, and again, even then, we still don't know that that Joy Boy and Emu actually came to blows, is what I mean. For all we knew, like maybe Joy Boy died, someone else killed him before they could actually meet.
Well, see, that's why I was like, they would not meet again. In the first world, implied that they did meet, and when the Gorosei are talking about Joy Boy, you see like the visage of like what looks like an awakened Nika fruit, basically. And so that made me think that Joy Boy fought against Emu and the Gorosei. And so that's why it makes me think that it's
I
the
agree with that,
first
but
one.
I think you're right. I just don't think they fought directly. I thought one army and another army fought, but that doesn't mean that they actually came to these two individuals actually met and fought. The armies did, the conflict happens, but the actual final showdown, shall we call it, that
Yeah.
never happened. There was never a crescendo.
Okay. Because then in this one, it's like the second world, it seems like they don't meet. You know, it's like when the moon lit the sun, the embers of war. Excuse me. Those of the half and full moons dreamed, yet the ones who slew the sun defied themselves, evoking the wrath of the sea god. They would not meet again. Meaning, in this case, this to me sounds like Joy Boy or whoever that iteration of the Nika fruit is. That's possibly where we get like the Shirahoshi or the Poseidon apology poneglyph, and then on top of that, like the Noah being in the bottom, and then they make the promise of like, hey, I'm going to bring all the fishmen to the top, but then the god of the forest ends up killing the sun god, and therefore Poseidon gets so mad that the sun god can't fulfill his promise because of what the forest god does, and then invokes the wrath of it. So
but then if they died, they wouldn't be there to leave the apology. It would have to happen the other way around.
it's possible that they knew that they were heading towards an unstoppable conflict in which they might not survive, so they left the apology just in case. Like, there's the
I suppose we still never had the apology translated. If it said something like "I could be going to my death, I apologize," 100% right.
Yeah. It's almost like
things like this. I read it thousands of chapters later, and we still don't bloody know. It makes me so annoyed.
Yeah, but yeah, overall, so what do you give the chapter, knowing the prediction? Just based upon this translation.
Yeah, I would still give it an 8. I'd still give it an 8 because it's good. It's good world building. It adds breadth. What I need is more depth. I'm fine with breadth, but I need things to be deeper, I suppose. I need to know things rather than to think things when we're 1,100 chapters in. There should be more things that we as readers know. Even if the Straw Hats don't know, that's fine. But we, the reader, should know.
Yeah.
My big concern is that... Did you ever watch Lost, the TV show?
Lost?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you remember, every week there was a new question, and when we got an answer, there was 5 new questions. And my big worry is that One Piece ends with so many things never being answered. I don't want everything to be answered, by no means, but again, like I said, 1,100 chapters in, and we as readers have way more questions than we do answers. Way more.
Yeah, I feel like ever since we hit the final saga, like, excuse me, we have been getting far more answers than we have previously, but they're not always the answers that we were looking for or the way we were looking for them.
Who patched up the 9 scabbards? Who patched up the 9 scabbards?
Oh, I believe that was what's her name?
We still have Toki.
Not Toki. Toki was the mom. It was Hiyori.
Yeah. Hiyori, yeah. See, I think it's Toki, but my point is we still don't know.
Yeah.
And it's like I suppose I just don't see anything wrong with telling us who it was, or at least if not, then why make it a question in the first place?
Maybe it's just like Oda trying to get you to draw inference.
Oh, yeah. But how, again, like I was saying earlier, how did Shanks get to Marineford? All these sort of things.
I don't know. If you ask Toei, he flew. So, you know. Who knows?
He
Maybe
swam really fast and dragged the ship along after him.
His sword turned into a griffin and grabbed the red force, and they flew over the red line.
You're saying it as a joke, and that's going to happen now.
It might. I mean, someone said it in the chat earlier that Typhon is the father of Cerberus and Griffin in like mythology, and so I'm
Typhon is the leader of all monsters. Yeah.
So I'm like, dude, next we're gonna find out that Fagarland's blade is named Typhon. Like,
oh yeah, there you go.
So it's gonna be Cerberus.
How can a sword awaken? How can you awaken a sword, Zoan? It's just
yeah. But anyway, so for me, this chapter is like a 9.5 to me. I really enjoyed it. 9.5 because like I love the way that we were all like, I love when Oda answers little things that we were all kind of like, what the fuck is he talking about? Like the whole fact that Loki's like, you know, on death's doorstep being like, hey, you think I didn't notice that you look like Shanks? Like, and basically it's just weird. Like, yeah, like just egging it on.
How can he? Again, I think I'm hoping the translation in Biz will be a little bit different because it fits into a theory from mine from ages ago where I think, you know how Usopp uses observation haki, right? Where he can see auras.
Oh, yeah. Is this your like the fact that Usopp has like a specific type of observation?
Yeah, I think it's going to be the same way that Rio was the type of armor unique to Wano. I would like it if this is a version of observation that is unique to Elbaf. And that giant, and again, you could even be really stupid and say that like 60 generations ago, Usopp had giant blood in him or something like that, you know.
Yeah, a giant mated with a Tontata, so we just have a normal sized person.
I would definitely not want to rule 43 that.
Yeah, someone's right now like that's a good idea, and they're just sketching it out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, someone's already drawing that now.
Yeah. But yeah, I really like that part. It was super cool, and the fact that that Shamrock was quick to get pissy when Loki was basically like, you got a shit family because you got a pirate and celestial dragons. Like he was so heated, he was like, bro, let me show you my cool sword. The fact that Oda was just
I wish it would have looked a bit different. The way Cerberus looked, I get that it's obviously a reference to the one in Thriller Bark, but just I suppose I wanted it to look more menacing.
Yeah, honestly, for me, the best looking Cerberus is the one from like the Hercules movie from.
I was literally going to say that. Yeah,
like,
the Disney Hercules. I was going to say the same thing.
Yeah, because he looks so awesome. Menacing. He's like
that's exactly how I was going to look.
Yeah, 3 Rottweiler heads, and like he just looked crazy. This one looks like eyes. Yeah.
It looks like 2 dogs and a fox is what it looks like.
Yeah. So it was cool, but I also like the fact that we were talking about the 3 sword style and the fact that this dude has the Cerberus fruit.
See?
Crazy.
See, sometimes I'm right. Sometimes I'm right.
Um,
Although, one thing I would say, because it's not actually been drawn to look that like visually impressive, I think it does take a lot of the wind out of like his sails in terms of how strong he's going to be compared to other people. Because I don't want him to be even approaching Shanks in strength. I don't. I really don't. I don't want him to just be another Shanks because it takes away from Shanks then. It's like, oh, okay, we already know how Shanks is good. Like later on in the story, well, we know how strong Shanks is because his brother's that strong. I don't want that. I want Shanks' strength to be a mystery to us even now.
here's the thing. I need him to be at least admiral level. So, and like
Oh,
admiral level to me is in between YC1 and Yonko. So I think
okay. Oh, okay, that's fine. Sorry, I thought you were going to say that above.
no.
No, then I'm with you. Yeah, I would say. I was going to go further. I was going to say like Big Mom level. I thought you might be around that.
But yeah, so I think that he should be in that ballpark. One, his family is tough, and not only that, I think that honestly, if the Holy Knights are anything below that, I mean, like in terms of everything, it just makes the dragon down play too easy. And I truly want him to be strong, and I want him to.
So do I.
I want there to be a reason why he's held off. He wants the Holy Knights to move so that he can move. Is how I want things to go. So the fact that they're moving, if they were anything less than like a YC1, which I'm sure there probably are going to be some that are like in that level.
They're all going to be relative, I think, but not. But again, I think.
Yeah, I need them to be in that range, though.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
But
I suppose I don't understand why. Again, I know silhouettes don't mean anything. I don't want there to be that many of them, I guess, because we are fucking like 1 for fucking 20 on how many different organizations there are that are like super secret, or there's just dozens of members that are never going to do anything. CP0, right? We are never going to see every single member of CP0 fight again. We're not. It's not going to go there. So it's like, why show us a silhouette of 10? If only 3 of them are going to fight? Do you know what I mean? Why not just show us 3 really intimidating ones?
Yeah. I agree with that. I love Gunko's Devil Fruit, and if she's an amputee,
I love that theory. I really like that theory.
If she is, it's just going to make things so much better. And so I think that it was really cool. The fact that it's really hard to see her legs when they're on the bird is kind of leaning that way, and the way everything else looks is very interesting. So that would be cool. Loki's definitely alive, but I'm very interested to to see Luffy pass or get to him and see him all fucked up and be like, oh holy shit, who did this to you?
Same here.
Yeah, so I think that you guys are right, though. I think this is probably Gabon. It's leaning that way with the way the conversation is going.
Yeah, definitely. A bit ham-fisted.
Ripley is just immaculate every time I see her. She's awesome.
Yep.
And this last panel just fucking is awesome. One thing that I think
I'm still looking at it now. I still can't find Blackbeard. I keep looking for something that Blackbeard could be, and I just can't see it.
Yeah, the only thing that I think may lend to the Blackbeard thing is if he really is the moon god. The moon is in the picture. That's it. But that's over.
Okay. I'll tell you what. I'm saying how I don't like the idea of Luffy fighting Emu. I still don't like it, but I would like it more if one of 2 things happened. Either Emu is the fight after Blackbeard, but instead of it just being Luffy versus Emu, it's Luffy and Dragon versus Emu. I would like a father-son team-up. That'd be pretty cool. If it's not that, I would like the other way around. I would like Emu to be defeated before Blackbeard. I want Blackbeard to be the big threat for Luffy, because as much as you were saying, Emu and Luffy are parallels, no, Luffy and Blackbeard are the parallels.
Yeah.
Their entire emphases on everything is completely opposite. It's not about friendship. It's not about care. It's about domination and everyone out for themselves.
One thing that I like needed to like kind of pay in, like keep in my mind when seeing this also, like this whole thing is the fact that we see these open books talking about the first world, the second world, the third world. Like you have to understand that Frankie's just seeing the mural, none of the words. So he's
I
probably
said
looking.
that earlier. I was gonna say he has no idea.
Yeah, he's probably just looking at it like, what the fuck is this? This is crazy.
Yeah.
Um,
That's why I think he's going to be the last person to see the mural, and I think Robin is going to be the last person to read those books. I think
Yeah.
it's so. I think that the big crescendo of all of this, again, when Loki is proved to actually be the good guy and that he's taken the blame the whole time, and when they do kill Loki, that's what's going to start quote unquote Ragnarok.
yeah.
And that's what's going to be the thing, that now the war is actually going to start moving because the giants are going to start moving.
Yeah. So I don't know. This is super interesting. The fact that we have this like elephant looking thing that kind of looks like Zunisha, and then it's like two of every animal, but like it also has the Noah.
It's the Noah. It's the Noah. Well, it's Noah's Ark. It's literally Noah's Ark.
Yeah. Another thing that I think is very interesting is over here that's supposed to, what I think is show the ancient kingdom and how advanced they were. It has these two random people on a boat that are
at the
right
bottom,
next
underneath.
to it. Yeah. So
they're not part of the 20 because we know why. Remember, there were two kingdoms that chose not to join, weren't there?
Well, no, there was only one kingdom.
So there was one kingdom, but it was a king and queen. It was Nefertari and whoever their version of Cobra was at the time.
So she was queen at the time because the kingdom of Alabasta is like a matriarchy. It's supposed to be ruled by a queen, not a king. But the problem was when she never came back, they had to make the brother the king. So it might play into that.
It's those two.
So yeah, but it's very, very interesting. So yeah,
the characters that are going down on like lift. Do you think those are halos above their head? Because what is it? It looks like a halo. And I'm thinking, did these people were corrupted? They went to the underworld and came up corrupted because they don't have those halos when they come back up.
Maybe
something down there corrupted them. They were corrupted, and again, if I'm right about Emu being like literally Lucifer, that's where these 20 kingdoms were corrupted. They came back up when they were offered stuff. That's where they're coming up with this. Again, I think it's probably the mother flame, but just some kind of like they're coming up. They go down with nothing, come up with something, and lose their halos.
Yeah, very interesting. It's just I'm telling you, I'm probably gonna look at this for hours.
Same.
But yeah, so I mean, there's just a lot to go off here.
There's too much to go over.
Oh, you know what's actually really crazy about this? So I had a theory. I want to say it was probably like fucking forever ago. And I had a theory that Zunisha was
I've got a good one on this.
Was actually Pluton, and them saying that Pluton was at the bottom of Wano was before Pluton was fed a devil fruit. And then
you think it's this giant elephant fruit?
Yeah, so I think it was like the elephant fruit model, mythical model, world elephant. Because they're in like, I think it's like Indian religion, like an Indian religion, there's a world elephant in which a civilization lives on the back of an elephant. So that's why I thought Pluton was that. And it would make sense because, and this kind of looks like it's on that same vein because you have Uranus above it. You have like this elephant, and then there's a boat inside of it. Meaning like it was a giant like boat that was fed a devil fruit. So that would be very interesting.
Agreed.
So I
You
don't
could,
know.
you could still have that now to a degree. Let's say it's the Noah, right? And the Noah was given a fruit. Yeah.
Yeah.
If the Noah's now at the bottom of the ocean, it can't move because it's a devil fruit user. So it
Yeah.
can't move anywhere. So that's why it hasn't moved on its own. It requires somebody to lift it to the surface so that it's not going to sink.
Yeah, and we don't really know exactly how the devil fruit affecting a
Yeah,
ship would
like I
be.
said, we still don't know. This is my point. We still have no idea. So many things.
Yeah. But the thing that I love about the theory that Zunisha is a devil fruit eating ship is the fact that it's so gigantic that its feet are only in the water
Yeah,
a slight
a little
bit.
bit. It's like
And
with Samron Wolf, he was still able to move.
exactly. So it would make sense that it wouldn't lose its power.
Yep.
But yeah, so overall, this is definitely to me like a 9.5, and I think that it's going to, you know, stay like I'm overestimating this chapter just a slight bit, just per me having to decipher this hieroglyphic thing. So to me, it's a 9.5. I'm super
Cool.
super on this.
There you go.
But all right, it is getting late. I'm sure for you, it's getting late here, and I
Yeah.
need to eat dinner. But thank you so much again for joining, Broker.
Thank you. Thank you. Also, like I said, anytime.
Yeah, we definitely have to do this again. The fact that Oda's not taking any breaks means that, you know, we should keep doing this every once in a while and do more theory crafting and such. So I'm hoping that, you know, the next few chapters, hopefully once we get Loki's backstory, my theory comes true, but we'll see how it works out. Who knows?
Evil Hajrudin.
Listen, I don't think that that's gonna happen. If I was a betting man, I would go Loki good, King Harold, you know, is
Evil.
questionable.
Yeah.
And I would do evil because it just feels a little too like close, especially because like his wife died and like they were just like, oh yeah, she died after the lucky horse or whatever also died, and I'm like I wonder if like he just killed his wife because she found out that he was meeting with the celestial dragons
Yeah,
or the gods
that's
knights.
totally possible. But
So
again, maybe Hajrudin killed his mother because she found out.
maybe.
See?
So I would also like to see the timeline in which her
Same here.
Hajrudin left Elbaf, because he went and became the new giant pirates, and then also was working for Buggy, and so on and so forth over the time skip.
Yes.
So I mean, if he wasn't even there when King Harold was murdered, like that's a possibility too. But anyway, so this is all just super interesting, and I love it. This chapter was great. So next time we'll definitely have to do some more theory crafting. We'll try and get Seb. We'll try and get Larry. We'll try and get all the people in
Sounds
on
good.
this, because I feel like whenever the break does happen, Oda loves to drop like a crazy cliffhanger.
There will be a cliffhanger. Yeah, completely.
Yeah. So hopefully once that happens, it's going to be a crazy one. So yeah, but thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure. Anytime, my friend. Anytime.
Anyone who is out there, go find all of the TOPT videos where Broker's theorizing. Go give them a sweet thumbs up, a comment, all the good stuff. And then hopefully we can just bully Broker into making his own YouTube channel. So that way he can do theories and we can just enjoy them straight up. But yeah,
Right.
so
Take
thank
good
you
care of
guys
yourself, yeah?
so much. Make sure to like, follow, subscribe, all the good stuff, and we will see you next time. All right.
Take care, my friend. Good night. Bye.
Jana.